We give praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yah by way of Yahushua HaMashiach. We're going to look at 1 Corinthians chapter 13 first, though. That's what we'll start at. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. I'm sorry, 1 Corinthians. Is it 13?
Yeah, verse 4.
Yeah. I was in second. That's why that threw me off. Sit back. No.
Now, what you trying to look for? The Lord?
I know. Look at verse 1. 1 Corinthians 13 and 1. He said, though I speak with tongues of men and of Alahym and have not love, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I can remove mountains, if I have no love, I am nothing. So this sitting back saying, this is going along the same thing like what James was talking about, faith without works is dead. I could believe all this stuff, but if I don't love Alahym and I don't love my neighbors, I love myself, it's nothing. It's worthless. He said, Dad, he came in crying. That's what they do these days. He young shoot. I was tripping today because Trav called me and his son was he would play fighting with his son and his little daughter, the daughter was like, no. And all I could hear was Jit saying, respect my name. Respect my name. Like copying babies. So they see that stuff, they copy it. That nigga look at TV. You know what I'm saying? That's what they put on the TV these days and churn copy. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm far from that one now. I know you ain't talking about green, nigga. You come from a generation of squares, pool tables, and green carpet. Your whole generation.
I ain't got nothing to do with this guy.
Yeah, dude. That's your generation.
Don't mean that.
He ain't lying, man. That generation.
Nothing to do with this guy.
That's your generation.
Y'all ain't have no squirrels in your generation.
No, we ain't do none of that type of stuff.
Vanilla
This guy
ice,
going
that's all I
on.
gotta say.
Vanilla Ice ain't my generation.
That's all I gotta say.
You know what I'm saying?
Vanilla ice.
Nigga, I was 11, 12, 13 years old when Vanilla Ice came out.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? We from that era, but they ain't our generation. And plus, they threw him out there. Like, them white record labels threw him out there to try to combat against Hammer. Because they was like, let's get a white boy out there and get this Hammer money. Because Hammer was killing the game.
You still a white?
Who?
Your boy.
Who, Hammer? Yeah, but we ain't got nothing to do with
It's
us.
a vanilla variety.
Hey, man, and you know what? And that was a Jewish dude. So you know who put him out there? The man named Rob Van Winkle. So we sit back and look at it, right? You know what I'm saying? That love, that thing got to be there. Look at the next verse though. He say, though I bestow all my goods to the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not love, it profit me nothing. This is what he say. He say, love suffers long and is kind. Love envy not. Love vaunt not itself is not puffed up. So you sit back and you talking about the true love of Alahym is not going, as he just stated, say it's got much patience. You know what I'm saying? See, look in Jeremiah 31 and 3. You can hold this right here, though. Say, this man loving kindness got much patience. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't have no patience. They'll give up and quit on something real fast. When we turn around and look at Yahuwah, that's one of the attributes of Yahuwah when he declared his name, right? Long suffering, right? And then that's one of the fruits of the Ruach, long suffering. That's patience, and that's taking injury with patience. A lot of people don't want to do that. Jeremiah 31 and make it 31 and 1 though. Let's see something real fast. There we go. It says, at the same time, saith Yahuwah, will I be the Alahym of all the families of Yasharal. They shall be my people. Thus saith Yahuwah, the people which were left of the sword found favor in the wilderness, even Yasharal, when I went to cause him to rest. Yahuwah have appeared of old unto me, saying, yea, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. You understand what he tells you? He said, he appeared of you of old. And say, I've loved you with an everlasting love. So when we look at an everlasting love, for everlasting, what you going to think about? This is forever. This is a love that is forever. But then he said he drew you with it. Hold on, y'all. Who is this? Hello? Hello?
Hi, this is Kelly.
Good grief. When we look at long suffering, it literally means to be patient.
Alright, this
This literally means to be patient. So that's patience. You know what I'm saying? So love has patience. So if we'll sit back and you say you love somebody, or somebody say they love you, they supposed to have patience with you. But now when you talking about looking at patience, like what we talking about the other day now, you ain't supposed to sit back and have patience with somebody who openly flaunt that they hate your God though. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some type of discernment and some type of wisdom. Because if you sitting back and okay, my work show this what I want to do. Your work show this what you want to do. This ain't even got to be somebody you with. You know what I'm talking about? This be friend, family member. Then you going to be patient with them like Alahym be patient with us. But if a nigga is outright telling you whether by in deed or by word that nigga this ain't what it is, then you a fool to have patience with them. Because this man say, if you forsake me, I'm going to forsake you. I hate all, he say, I will not know a wicked person. I hate all, that's what this man say in the law, like, I will not know a wicked person. Anybody that has it set in their mind, I hate this man. That's a wicked person. And they don't have to open their mouth and say that. Their lifestyle is saying that. You know what I'm saying? Now, he tell you in Proverbs, though hand be joined in hand, the wicked will not go unpunished. He say, Yah made everything for himself, even the wicked, for the day of destruction. So this is going back what we talking about. It's some people made to be saved. It's some people made to be damned. You know what I'm saying? When you looking at wheats and tails, when you looking at who is yours, when you looking at the woman seed, when you looking at the serpent seed, this is where all this stuff come in at. Because we supposed to be able to discern between the two. And we can't sit back and make this, that, there, and the third. You know, I done told you something. I done had plenty of people tell me, yeah, I want such and such, or I want such and such to get the word. And my response to them every time they tell me that is, what if y'all don't want it? Because I don't know who the man want. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know he wanted me. You know what I'm saying? But what if he don't want him? And I asked that question for one reason. If y'all don't want this person, will it affect your faith, belief, and servitude towards him? That's why I asked that question. You know what I'm saying? What if he don't want him? Will that cause you not to want y'all because y'all don't want this person? Would you be willing to walk away from this person if y'all don't want him? Like, you know, some people, I want my mama to get the word. I want my brothers to get. It's usually your immediate family. You know what I'm saying? You have sometimes if you get the word and you with somebody or you already married, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you got people, they already married. They get hit with the word. Then they want their wife to get it, or they want their husband to get it, or they want their kids to get it. You know what I'm saying? What happened if they don't want it? What happened if y'all don't want them? Because y'all already know they don't want it. Will you reject y'all for that? That's why he say, he that love father, mother, sister. This is why he tell you this. Because these situations are going to arise. You know what I'm saying? He says it's going to be in a household, five in a household, 2 against 3. Father-in-law against son-in-law. Mother-in-law against daughter-in-law. And the man enemy is going to be there of his own household. You got to be willing. Can you accept that? That's why I was telling y'all that last night. Like, I can't sit around somebody and I know they don't like me. You know what I'm saying? And they don't like me for, if I wasn't dealing with the word, I guarantee you some of the people that don't care for me wouldn't have no problem with me at all. You know what I'm saying? It's the word they got the problem with. So why would I sit around people that I know that basically your dislike or problem with me really ain't with me, it's with my Alahym. So therefore, if you got a problem with him, you got a problem with me. And if you got a problem with him, I don't want nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't force interaction. You know what I'm saying? I done been around people that I know don't like me. I can't force interaction with them. Nigga just sitting there like just quiet looking crazy. Because nigga, you don't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to you. Why am I even here? You know what I'm saying? And back in the days, you know what nigga would have did? I'll be right back and slid outside and came back, eyes shut. Or smelling like tobacco. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna go outside and smoke, man. By the time I come back, y'all probably be gone. Or you be like, that nigga so high, I don't even want to talk to him. He's just a junkie. You know what I'm talking about? That was all you would have did. You know, that's some of y'all that never did that before. You know there's people in the house, y'all, you don't mess with them. Slide right out the door, man. I'm finna roll one up, man. Make it easier to be around these niggas. See, now we can't do that. Listen what he said though, right? So when he said he's appeared to us of old, remember we talking about a salvation that's already been ordained. He say of old, from the foundation of the world, I've already appeared to you. Let's look at Jeremiah 1:5 on that though. Let's see if Jeremiah 1:5 give us an inkling towards that. Because the reality is, you know, we done talked about people being chosen to salvation before, but we ain't never really go into it. But the reality is everybody's not going to be saved. And we're going to really delve into that story. I told some of y'all about it. It's literally in Judges. There were 32,000 people and only 300 of them got chosen. That means that is a 1.5%, 1.4, 1.3, somewhere in there, a 1% ratio of the people who got picked by Yah. Now you let that resonate in your brain. That means only 1.5 person in the room gonna make it. If we go by that number. 1.5 person. So we can round that up. 2 people. 2 people. Because 32,000 people came. 22,000 was scared. 10,000 out of that 10,000, he chose 300. He said, you could tell the rest of them. You could tell them 9,700. You could tell them to go. I don't want them. You know what I'm saying? Now you gonna get mad at y'all because he only wanted the 3 and not the 9,700? But that's how why he ain't picked them? Shoot, I don't know. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, man. I done heard like, yeah, that person that don't belong to me. First thing came to my head, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm talking about? You know, let your will be done. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? That's above my pay grade. I didn't even want to know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? Boom, because on the spot, if that individual asks me, well, what did he say? I gotta tell him. You don't want to tell nobody like this. You can see like when we were reading like with Samuel last night, right? Samuel was scared to tell Eli the vision that Yah had gave him. He didn't even want to tell it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm finna kill your whole household. I'm finna kill all your sons. I'm finna remove them out of the priest's office. Samuel like, they said, boy, I don't want to tell him. Eli, man, tell me. And don't hold nothing back. So he went ahead and told him. Eli just had a different thought process on it. If it seemed good to Yahuwah, let it be done. Because who wants to tell somebody, who wants to tell that Yah had pronounced the evil judgment? Who want to tell somebody that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to tell you that, like, yeah, Darius, you know, y'all showed me a vision, man. You're going to die tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Be like this here, so tell me what he said. You like this here, man. Tell me what he said. Man, I don't want to. Then you tell him like this because you don't know how that person going to react. You know what I'm saying? All we want is we look at because how our mind been trained that if and I'm to be honest with you, if it was still going like it was in the days of old and men would still walk around saying, thus saith Yahuwah, Yahuwah saith this, Alahym saith this, most of the people not going to want to hear what he got to say. Because when you look at when the prophets came, they rarely had anything good to say. You know what I'm saying? They got us trained that every time y'all speak, it's got to be good. But when you look in the book, they rarely ever had anything good to say. And the reason why they didn't have anything good to say is because the people weren't doing anything good to give them anything good to say. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah 1:5 or 1:4. Then the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou came forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So he say before he put it, so that means before he made him in the belly, you know what that is? Look at Romans chapter 9. Say, before I made you in the belly, I knew you. What is it? We know to know Alahym is to keep his commandments, right? So if he's saying, I knew thee, what did the master say? Depart from me, you work of iniquity. I never knew thee. So that means before I even put you in the belly, I already knew you were going to listen to me and follow me and do what I say. I already knew this. You see what I'm talking about? Jeremiah, he's telling Jeremiah this after he born. Man, check this out. Well, I set you apart, and I knew you before you was even in, before your daddy even thought about conceiving with your mama. I already knew you. So guess what that tell us for the rest of us? And we're going to sit back and look at it because he said, I sanctified thee, the prophet. That means that it was people, you going to be conformed to the image of the Son regardless. This is going to happen if you chosen. If you not chosen, you not going to be conformed to that image. So we can look at some of these things like, I chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. That means if you chosen, you will suffer for the word. If you chosen, you will be chastised for the word. You know what I'm saying? If you chosen, you will be rebuked with the word. You can't run away from that. If those things don't come on you, you're not chosen. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line, because this is what the book say. You put it this way, right? I'll put it this way before we get this thing here, right? Say you've been sinning nonstop. Know you sinning too. This man say as many as he what? Love. He does what? So if you ain't getting chastened and rebuked, what that tell you?
Bastard.
And he don't love you. And he don't. He said the opposite of love is what? Hate. So if he ain't chastening and rebuking you, he don't love you, and on top of that, you not his son. You not his son, which means who is your daddy then? Hashatan. You know what I'm saying? See, we like to put the gray area. See, you know what our problem is? Feelings, emotions. You got to remember, judgment means right ruling. That means ruling on a matter according to what is right. And what is right? Yahuwah's word. So the right judgment or right ruling got to be determined by his word, not how you feel. Not what you think. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
When he said, when Jethro told Messiah to set up judges, he said, make sure they hate covetousness.
Yes, sir.
So when you look at that word covetousness, they're saying they have they seek no gain or lucre. Meaning that they're righteous ruling. They're not judging on the outward appearance. They're judging on the righteous judgment.
They gonna judge righteous. They gonna judge. See, you know what we do? We judge by how it sound in our ears, and how it look to our eyes, and the appearance. We don't judge righteously. So when somebody's judging according to what the book say, we automatically think they judging based on personal opinion. You know why a person when that come in their mind? Because that's how you judge. You know what I'm saying? You got unrighteous judgment. You got a false weight and a false balance. Because you gonna judge based on how you feel. Instead of basing on what the words say. Words say what it say. You know what I'm saying? If you in line with it, it's gonna justify you, it's gonna vindicate you. If you out of line with it, it's gonna convict you and it's gonna condemn you. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And we sit back just talking about just knowing what Hebrews, not even just people we know just personally, just dealing with dudes who call themselves dealing with the book. Their judgment is horrible. Do you know what I'm saying? Their judgment is horrible. You know how very few dudes actually judge stuff according to what's written? Y'all don't remember long time ago in this very room when he had me in here dying laughing when that young woman who we had already gave her the judgment and gave her the right ruling on don't do this right here, this what's gonna happen. But instead, she went and did what she wanted to do, and exactly what was told was gonna happen, happened. Because that person thought that I was speaking from a personal bias and feeling when I was only speaking based off judgment, off the information you given, and then playing it against the word. And this is the determination I'm gonna come up with. So it's not that, oh, I'm right, I just happen to know everything. Yah is right. If you judge stuff by the word, you're gonna be right every time. You know what I'm saying? Because Yah is right every time. He ain't lost, he ain't got no L's. He gonna win. If you judge everything by the word, you gonna be right every time. Because Yah is right. You know what I'm saying? And niggas is sitting back, and at the time they was sitting back looking at it's personal. That's how he feels. No, and then we went over something in Deuteronomy where we talked about if you don't want to hear the judgment of the judge, you ought to die. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, man, because I know Trav we be talking about this here, because his people get upset with him. Because when niggas say something or do something, we judge it by the word. The word is what come to my head when situations come up. Not how I feel. How I feel don't mean nothing. You could come to me, we could be talking about something, and I could give you my personal opinion. But when it come down to it at the end of the day, though, and you be like, hey, I want you to judge this matter. All personal feelings, bias, all that there, I put that to the side. And I got to judge it by the word, even if I'm directly involved in the situation. Because how you going to sit back and say you a righteous judge and you can't remove yourself from the situation and judge it according to the word? That means you ain't even fit to handle the book. You got situations where Hamashiach judged itself. He was directly involved how them people were coming with him, but he judged according to the book. He said, if I cast them out by devils, he said, who your children do it by? He said, let them be your judges then. Even in the matter where they coming at him, he still used righteous judgment in order to sit back and say, I'm going to be vindicated regardless. You judge it like this here.
And then when they asked him, what was John's baptism, by man or by heaven?
Came at him like this here. You judge it. Because he's sitting back and he let them know. Is it from Alahym or is it a man? If we say it's Alahym, he gonna say why we ain't listen. If we say if it's a man, then the people gonna kill her because they hold him to be a prophet. So what them wicked niggas do? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how niggas think, man. It's faith over emotion. Put your emotions to the side. Nigga called you. You gotta put your emotions to the side. See, people don't put their emotions to the side. So because you don't put your emotions to the side, guess what happens? You judge wrong. You judge wrong. Romans 9 and 9. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by her father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Alahym according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that called. So it was nothing that Jeremiah had done. That's why if we turn around and we see somebody been chosen Alahym, that person could not boast, brag, or boast, but in Alahym. That's it. Because it ain't nothing that you had done. He said, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And I set you apart to be a prophet unto the... It wasn't nothing that Jeremiah did. So hold on, look at 1 Corinthians chapter 1. About 27. So 26. Hold on 1 second.
Welcome. You are the first caller. You will be placed on hold until the next.
I hope it didn't hang up on him. I did. For you see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But Alahym have chosen the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. Alahym have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. What can you think of an example that happened? Because I got one just came in my mind off the rip. Didn't choose the mighty things, but chose the weak things to confuse the things that were great.
Sure, Saul was mighty in everybody's eyes, but David.
And he chose David. What was David? He was just a sheep herder.
Yeah.
Just a sheep herder.
Oh yeah, when David was Goliath, Goliath was like, "Boy,
Who you is? To bring that down. So you see that this is what the Most High choose. There's a reason why he choose people in these situations. Look what he tells you. And the base things of the world, the things which are despised, have Alahym chosen. Yea, and the things which are not, to bring to naught the things that are, that no flesh should esteem in his presence. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at the word chosen, what we have here is Bahar. We got the Bat, the Kot, and the Raj. The family separated to the highest. Whoever is chosen by Yah, you just said, he said, before I formed you in the belly, I knew thee, and I sanctified. So he chose Jeremiah. Jeremiah was already a part of the separated family of the highest. He had already been brought into that family. He said, I knew you of old, and I drew you with loving kindness. What is the love of Alahym? But to keep his commandments. See, look at 1 John 5:1. He was already set up for that. We just sat back and mentioned election, and the elect is up there, but we'll get to that in a minute. It's the same thing. But then with the second one there, the family separated by the hand of the highest. So then when you sit back and you look at elect, now it's his right hand that has separated you to the highest. Now it's Mashiach. Before when he said you chose, you had been separated, you were brought into the separated family of the highest. Now you come out, now Mashiach is the one that confirms that election. You know what I'm saying? And it's by nothing that you did. What I just said.
1 John 5:1.
1 John 5:1. He said, whosoever believes that Yahushua is the Mashiach is born of Alahym. And everyone that loved him, that begat, loved him also that is begotten of him. So now before we proceed any further, he says, everyone that believes that Yahushua is the Mashiach is born of him. What is that important for us then? In that sentence of what he said.
Okay, he said, he that believes on me, as the scripture says.
Out of his belly gonna flow rivers of living water, right? So let's look at something. 2 Samuel 22 and 44. It's just about something we were talking about last night. That if you believe when that word hit you, you're gonna move. If you don't believe, it ain't gonna make no difference. Like I say, most people remember when they got hit with the word. They may not remember the day. They may not remember the date. They might not even remember the month. But they remember when that word hit them. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? 2 Samuel 22 and 44. Make it 42. He said, they looked, but there was none to save, even unto Yahuwah, but he answered them not. Then did I beat them as small as the dust of the arras. I did stamp them as mire of the street, and did spread them abroad. Thou also hast delivered me from the strivings of my people. Thou hast kept me to be the head of the heathen. A people which I knew not shall serve me. Strangers shall submit themselves unto me. As soon as they hear, they shall be obedient unto me. So this man just say, as soon as you hear the word, you will be obedient to me. Obedient to me. As soon as you hear. When we look at soon, let's just say Hebrew, we see what that word for soon is. We know what it means in English, but literally he said, as soon as you hear, you're going to be obedient unto me. Let me see something real quick. So you know what that tell you? That means y'all, as soon as you hear, you're going to be obedient. Guess what that means? Y'all had to already give you a heart to believe it. He already had to give you that. And the word we got there is shama. It means to hear, to listen, to obey, to perceive by ear, to understand, to hear, to listen, to give heed, to consent, to agree, to yield to. To yield to. So when you look at it, well, it's got it there as soon as they hear. So they got the whole thing on there. And it's the same thing with obedience. So as soon as you hear Mashiach, you hear the word, you would yield to him. So when you turn around and you look at it, if you hear the word and you have not yielded to him and you haven't submitted to him, that is a red flag. That is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because that's telling you something. Because he said, everyone that believes. Look at Romans 10 and said 14 now. He said, everyone that believes that Yahushua the Mashiach is born of Alahym. If you're born of Alahym, I mean you're chosen of Alahym. Because to be born of Alahym would make you a what? A son. You can't be a son unless you what? Chosen. Because we're going to look, many are called, few are chosen. He say, enter ye in at the what? Straight gate. For wide is the great gate, and broad is the way that leadeth unto destruction, and many there be that go therein. But narrow is the way, and straight is the gate that lead unto life. And guess what he said? Few be there that find it. That means few are chosen to actually be able to enter in at that gate and walk it. It's been ordained from the foundation. He said, from everlasting of old, I drew thee with love and kindness. Yes, Leo. Where we were going at again?
Say something about Romans 7.
Romans 7. Romans 10 and 14. 10 and 13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of Yahuwah shall be saved. How then shall they call on him whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe on him whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of shalom and bring glad tidings of good things. But they have not all obeyed the gospel. For Yeshayahu said, Yahuwah, who have believed our report. So then faith come by hearing, and hearing by the word of Alahym. But I say unto you, have they not heard? Yes, truly, their sound went out into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. So he say faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word. So as soon as you heard and you weren't obedient to him, you know what that's showing? You didn't believe. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what the book say. As soon as they hear of me, they will be obedient unto me. So as soon as you hear and you're not obedient, then guess what that's showing us? Because to run this race, you got to look at Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 1. Because we was already talking about the patience, right? You know what I'm saying? The patience. He said love is patient. So if you love Alahym, it's going to be patience. Then we could get 1 Corinthians 9 and about 22, because the race is not given to the swift. You got people, they start out fast, right? But they don't finish the race. He said, wherefore, seeing we're also compassed about with so great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. So he say love is long suffering. You know what I'm saying? When we sit back and we come and serve Yahuwah, he's going to have patience with us. You turn around and you look at us as a people. We coming out, we ain't know nothing about nothing. You know what I'm saying? You relearning something all the way from the jump street. You know what I'm saying? He going to be patient with you. As long as you seek him with the whole heart, the whole mind, and the whole soul. If you're not doing that, then he's not going to be patient with you. Because he know that you lukewarm. You're not hot or cold. Therefore, he going to spew you out. Because he can't do nothing and you double-minded. You know what I'm saying? I don't know which way I'm going to go. I don't know which way I'm going to go. Then if you pick the wrong way, if he love you, he going to bust you upside your head to get you back in the way. If you pick the wrong way and he don't love you, keep on going. You know what I'm saying? Really the whole thing that happened to us is really about the choices you make. But then at the same time, it's about the mind that Yah give you. Because I'm telling you, we're going to look at it. If you belong to him, can't nothing take you out his hand. Nothing. If you belong, we get the game messed up at it. And I done had conversations with people over these whole 7 years I've been doing this, and numerous times in numerous different ways. It's a painful thing to realize everybody don't belong to him. Even people we love and care about, they don't belong to him. You know what I'm saying? And we don't be wanting to accept that hard fight. That is somebody you love and Yah has rejected them. And then in turn, if Yah has rejected them and he has separated you to himself, eventually that's going to cause you to be separated from them. You know what I'm saying? And that if you go back to them, eventually you're going to be destroyed with them. You know what I'm saying? Because if judgment started at the house of Alahym and he judged the unrighteous, what's going to happen to us? Because he ain't going to be able to discern what from what. You know what I'm saying? When that man sit back and say it's time for you to sanctify yourself and separate yourself from the unclean thing, and you still attached to it, you're going to get what the unclean thing get. Because you supposed to have been sanctified. You didn't sanctify yourself. I'm going to come see you then. I'm going to give you the same reward they got. Why? Because you knowing my right ruling and that I was detested at these things that these people were doing, you took pleasure in them, therefore you deserve it yourself. You know what I'm saying? This thing is tight, man. It's hardcore and it's dead real. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Make a bad choice, it can get your soul cut off. You know what I'm saying? Stay making right choices according to the word to get your soul saved. And who is those choices contingent on? Only the individual. Because guess what? Can't nobody make nobody in this room hear the word. Can't nobody in this room make nobody follow it. You know what I'm saying? And if I sit back and I see you ain't following it, I'm going to get you from around me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to deal with it. Because I'm not going to let that permeate. I'm not going to let that, I ain't going to let that latch on to me. I can't take that chance. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather save my soul and lose that than to keep something and lose. That's why the man say he that saved his life is going to lose. If you try to keep everything that you want and y'all, you're going to lose your soul. You're not going to keep y'all though. You know what I'm saying? The whole book is, that's why you say love seek not her own. It's about sacrifice. It's about what you willing to lose. Mashiach lost his life. Mashiach walked away from everything in Shamayim that he had and gave it all up. You know what I'm saying? Because he loved us. Then we turn around, we don't want to give nothing up. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep what I want. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. And he's sitting back looking at, did you even count the cost that you might have to forsake something? Because he said, he that don't forsake everything that he got, you can't be my Taladim. You can't be my disciple. I can't teach you. And when you're not willing to forsake everything that you have, you're showing you're not chosen. Because those that are chosen will give up everything. They'll lose everything to gain him. You know what I'm saying? Now you ain't got to go as far like he say, you know, sell your stuff and all this and just like this here and just wander the earth. But if he came to you and was literally like, do that, would you? Or would you be like, well, I can't get that up? Because you got attachments to other things that's gonna keep you so. That's why you say lay aside the weight. What is the stuff that's holding you back? You know what I'm saying? From being saved. And a lot of times it be yourself. You know what I'm saying? It be the individual that's the problem. What is it, 1 Corinthians 9 and 22? Make it 24. He say, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receive the prize, so run that you may obtain. Every man that strive for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we are incorruptible. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're running for. And if you're going to run it, you're going to have to run it with patience. And you can't sprint. You know what I'm saying? Everybody watch this here, how long, I want the spirit, why I ain't got it. They feel like they supposed to get it quick. But he say for you, you got to believe. I mean, as soon as you hear the words, you got to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm just sitting back telling you, man, I am not one of them people, and I ain't never felt like this. You know what I'm saying? I can't recall if I ever mentioned it before, but I don't believe nobody. I don't think it take no year, 2, 3 years to believe. I believe you either believe off the rip or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it might even take a week or so. You know what I'm saying? But like stacking on months on top of months and years on top of years, in my opinion, you ain't never believe. It shouldn't take that long. You know what I'm saying? Like really earnestly believe, it shouldn't take that long. And the minute you believe, you should start submitting yourself to the man. You know what I'm talking about? You don't do that there, you don't really believe. That's just how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. That's how I see it. I see it according to the word with it. I see examples. When we look at Paul, how many times Mashiach came to Paul? One time. How many times did he come to the apostles? One time. Do you know what I'm talking about? We can sit back and read Kings where these prophets came to this man one time. Some of them he had to bust them upside their head. We can look at that with Manasseh. You know what I'm saying? He came to Manasseh. Manasseh ain't want to listen. I bet if I chastise this nigga, he get right. Soon as he did it, he got right. You know what I'm saying? He got right. Come on back over here to 1 Corinthians 13. We in verse 4. So look at it, right? He say, love suffer long and is kind, and love envy not. Love ought not out of itself. It is not puffed up. It doth not behave itself unseemly. Seek not our own. Is not easily provoked. Think no evil. Rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. So when he sit back and say, when they say unseemly, that means unbecoming. So love is not going to show forth anything that's unbecoming or that's not right. And it definitely don't think no evil. So basically it boils down to, if you love Alahym, you're not going to do no evil. You're not going to give off the appearance of evil. And if you say you love somebody else, then you're not going to consent to no sin. And they not going to consent to no sin. They not going to entice you to sin. And you're not going to entice them to sin. Because when you do this, then love is not present. And if love is not present, then what is actually present? Lust, desire, uncleanliness. Alahym has not called us under uncleanliness, but to Kadesh. You know what I'm saying? Love don't sit back. When we talk about loving Alahym, because he say everybody that love Alahym is born of Alahym, when they believe that Yahushua is Mashiach. How else do we believe in but by how the scriptures say it? So if we hear the scriptures and we don't believe, then the love of Alahym is not in you. When this man say, he that is of Alahym do what? Here's Alahym's words. He say, you hear, he talking to our people now. He say, you hear them not because you are not of Alahym, which means you are the wicked one. This is what the master's saying. So the master is telling us there are two sets of people. You either of Yah or you're not. If you hear the word, you of Yah. If you not of him. And we think hearing the word is just sitting there listening. James 1:22. Hearing the word ain't just sitting there listening. Make it 21. Fine page. 1:21. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your soul. Engrafted means it's going to merge with you. I mean, you got to let this word, you got to take that table of stone that's out of your heart and get fleshly tables of the heart. Be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his face in a natural glass. For he behold himself and go his way, and straightway forgot what manner of man he wore. That sounds like Saul to me. Saul was a lowly man. He was a hearer of the word, but not a doer of the word. He forgot straightway where he came from. He said, you don't remember I grabbed you from here and set you here? You ain't did nothing I said? You know what I'm saying? That's what we get messed up at. We think because a nigga sit around listening that they doing something. Oh, I keep Shabbat, I don't eat no pork. But what about all this over here though? You're not a doer of the word, you's a hearer, which means you do not believe. You know what I'm saying? But I like we were talking about last night, bro, that is the hardest thing. Don't nobody want to hear that they don't believe. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody got it, oh, I believe in God. I believe in God. Well, let's see what the words say. Well, you know, sometimes I do this right here, and I do this right here, and I do this right here, and you know, and I do this right here. You don't believe then. See, look at Matthew 6 and 20 and about 26. You know, the children of Alahym gonna believe. Children of Hashatan ain't never gonna believe. It ain't in them to believe.
Gonna have a life.
6 and 24, my apologies. He says, no man can serve two masters, for he will either hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve Alahym and Mammon. You're not going to be able to serve Hashatan and Alahym. Now you talking about Mammon and the Greek, that's talking about just a master or flesh, any of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to do that. Let me get it precise though. When you sit back, you know how people say, oh, I love two people at one time. No, you can't. Because you're going to love one, you're going to hate the other. Because our law say cleave under who are your Alahym. So if you cleave under Yah, you're going to hate all idols, all wickedness, you're going to hate all that. If you don't love him with all your heart and all your soul, guess what's going to happen? You're going to cleave to this idol, right? Which means you're going to hate Yah. You can't serve two masters. Mammon, treasure, riches, was it personified and opposed to Alahym? And then the other part, say Ais are deified. So when we looking at serving the riches, we sit back and look at the heathen. We usually went after the heathen because they had the things that we wanted. You know what I'm saying? They had a king, we wanted a king. See, let's look at that in 1 Samuel chapter 8. So you can't serve two masters. First Samuel chapter 8. It's also showing the mystery of iniquity, because again it's talking about how, you know, the belly, you want to do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? or I want what I want. You cannot serve two masters. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just sit back and think about that because I was asked that by people in my lifetime. You think you can love two people at the same time? No. I mean, the word is saying you can't serve two masters. I don't believe you could do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe you could do, because you're going to lean to one. You know what I'm saying? You're going to love one and you're going to hate the other. You can't love both. Because to love both, it's got to be patience with both, no unseemliness with both. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about all that there. And pureness and full attention. You can't love both. Like, you can't love y'all and the word. That's why you say, how long will you halt between two opinions? So when you think you can serve two masters or you can love two people at the same time, you double-minded. You indecisive. You lukewarm. You can't do that. We got it in our mind that we can have everything. You know what I'm saying? Don't work like that. Y'all chosen don't look at stuff like that. 1 Samuel 8. 2 Samuel 8. No, I'm talking about what I was looking at. I was on the wrong page. It's 1 Samuel 8:1. And it came to pass when Samuel was old, he made his sons judges over Yasharal. Now the name of the firstborn was Joel, and the name of the second was Abiel. They were judges in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways and turned aside after lucre and took bribes and perverted judgment. Just what Troy just mentioned. They didn't have right ruling and judgment. They judged for the people. They judged for money. I tell you whatever you want to hear, you give me what I want. And he said unto him, behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. I'm sorry, I skipped verse 4. Then all the elders of Yasharal gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, behold, thou art old, thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. Now sit back and look at this, right? Samuel was chosen from the womb. But look at the difference. Your sons are wicked, and they don't walk in your ways. You know what I'm talking about? And he called Samuel by name. Because he said, my sheep know me. And he said, and I call them by name. He was calling Samuel by name, but look at his offspring. You see the difference what I'm sitting there talking about? This is a righteous man, had two sons, both of them were wicked. The father was of Alahym, his offspring weren't. Would you be upset about that? Would that bother you? Does that offend you? Like what the master asked, does that offend you? Would that offend you because I chose your daddy and not his offspring? But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. So at the end of the day, he never had an intention on picking Saul. This wasn't his desire. But he went ahead and picked him anyway, though, didn't he? Now let's look at 1 Samuel chapter 9. Let's look at about verse 1. Now there was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, the son of Abiel, the son of Zeror, the son of Becheroth, the son of Apaiah, a Benjamite, a mighty man of power. And he had a son whose name was Saul, a choice young man, and a goodly, and there was not among the children of Yasharal a goodlier person than he. From his shoulders upward he was higher than any other people. And the asses of Kish Saul's father were lost, and Kish said to Saul his son, take now one of the servants with thee, and arise and go seek the asses. Now you sit back and look at, he picked a mighty man. He picked a great man. You know what I'm saying? So this is you sitting back looking at it, it wasn't never really about Saul. Saul was already going to fall. Look and see what he did for Saul, though. We're not going to read everything in 1 Samuel 9, what he did for him. Look at 1 Samuel chapter 10, though. Look at about verse 5. Now let's turn around and look at it. Because if he gave him another heart, don't you think Saul should have been obeying? He said, after that, thou shalt come to the hill of Alahym, where there is the garrison of the Philistines. It shall come to pass when thou art come thither to the city, that thou shalt meet a company of the prophets coming down from a high place with a psaltery and a tabret and a pipe and a harp before them, and they shall prophesy. And the Ruach of Yahuwah will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and shalt be turned into another man. And let it be, when these signs are come unto thee, that thou do as occasion serve thee, for Alahym is with thee. And thou shalt go down before me to Gilgal. Behold, I will come down unto thee to offer burnt offerings and to sacrifice sacrifices of peace offerings. 7 days shalt thou tarry till I come to thee and show thee what thou shalt do. And it was so, when he had turned his back to go from Samuel, Alahym gave him another heart. And all these signs came to pass that day. Drop down to verse 19, right? So he gave Saul another heart. That means Saul should have been a different person. And you have this day rejected your Alahym, who himself saved you out of all your adversities and your tribulations. And you have said unto him, Nay, but set a king over us. Now therefore present yourselves before Yahuwah by your tribes and by your thousands. And when Samuel had caused all the tribes of Yasharal to come near, the tribe of Benjamin was taken. And when he had caused the tribe of Benjamin to come near by their families, the family of Matri was taken, and Saul the son of Kish was taken. And when they sought him, he could not be found. Therefore they inquired of Yahuwah further if the man should yet come thither. And Yahuwah answered, Behold, he hath hid himself among the stuff. And they ran and fetched him thence. And when he stood among the people, he was higher than any of the people from his shoulders and upward. Say he was mighty though, right? Say he don't choose base things or low things, right? And Samuel said to all the people, See ye him whom Yahuwah have chosen? That there is none like him among all the people. And all the people shouted and said, Alahym save the king. Then Samuel told the people the manner of the kingdom and wrote it in a book and laid it up before Yahuwah. And Samuel sent all the people away, every man to his house. Listen what happened though. And Saul also went home to Gibeah, and there went with him a band of men whose hearts Alahym had touched. So he done touched these men's heart to do what? To follow this man. See, you can't follow the man unless he touch your heart. He don't touch your heart, you can't follow him. But look at the men whose heart he didn't touch. And the children of Belial said, How shall this man save us? And they despised him and brought him no presents, but he held his peace. They say the sons of Belial, you know what it means to be Belial, right? Worthless. So look at 2 Corinthians 6 and 14 real fast. And we sit back if we can see sons of Belial saying, How can this man save us? He says, Be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? And what concord have Mashiach with Belial? Or what part have he that believed with the infidel? So you sit back and look at it. These sons of Belial was never going to meet an agreement with Saul. It's impossible. It's impossible. So what part does the word have with somebody who don't believe in? Because remember now, we're looking at something, right? And we're going to come back to this in a minute. When we look at these sons of Belial, especially with Mashiach. He says, as soon as they heard, they did what? They were obedient to him. So now you can see why he said, he that have an ear, let him hear. Because he that has an ear will immediately yield himself to the word. Because he is of Alahym, because I known thee before I formed you in the belly, because you were saved from the foundation of the world, chosen to be separated to the family of the highest. And then done it by the hand of the highest. Let's look at something in Matthew chapter 26. Or 27, I'm sorry. Just sit back at how they mocked the man. 27, about 33. No, not 33, about 40. I guess we can work that well in. You know, Troy put that thing up there with the temple and the water coming up out of that. Because it's gonna work to this well. The well of Harod. It's gonna work to that well. And it's gonna work even more by showing how Yah sowed seed and Satan sowed seed when we get around into it. Probably finna get ready to work it well on that right now. About verse 39 though. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads and saying, Thou that destroyed the temple and built it in 3 days, save thyself. If thou be the son of Alahym, come down from the stake. Likewise, the chief priests mocking him with the scribes and elders said, He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the king of Yasharal, let him come down from the stake, and we will believe him. He trusted in Alahym, let him deliver him now if he will have him, for he said, I'm the son of Alahym. And all point, intents and purposes, these people feel like he can't save. How is this man going to save us? He can't save himself. You know what I'm saying? How is this man gonna save us and he can't save himself? He up here on this state right now, he can't save himself. Say we ain't bringing him no presents either. Screw him. They're not realizing they showing they the sons of Belial, they worthless. That's why he told them, you have of your father the devil, and the works of your father ye will do. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word. He said, he that is of Alahym, hears Alahym's words. You hear them not, because we hear that stuff, we'll read it, or you hear it, but you don't really lay it to heart because you're not considering the people around you. They might not actually believe it. See, look at John 6 and 66. Get over here. John 6 and 66. I got some stuff. I was looking at so much stuff this morning. After that, John 6 and 66, Songs of Solomon 8 and 13, and Ecclesiastes 7 and 5. My bad. Make it John 6 and 63. Matter of fact, you can make it 62. Or 61, because I like what he just said to him. When Yahushua knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, doth this offend you? What and if you shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is the Ruach that quicken. You just keep that in mind. The flesh profit nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are Ruach and they are life. But there are some of you that believe not. So he already knew. Hold on. What's going on with you, man? Hold on.
Line today?
Yeah, it was, but you could call it back. And shoot the call drop, it wasn't nobody on there.
Oh, okay.
I think it was just wasn't nothing but a couple. But you all right, you can stay right where you at. He said, but there are some of you that believe not. So the master already knew who was his and who weren't. He already knew. Now he went to dropping that bread on them. You know what I'm saying? What we talked about 2 weeks ago, that bread on them. And they were like this here. Let's see what happened. Yahushua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not and who should betray him. He already know who don't believe the word. That man say, as soon as you hear the word, you submit yourself unto him. But guess what? They had been walking with him though. They had been walking with him though. So you know what we had in mind of? Well, they believe the same thing we believe. How you know? Because I'm going to tell you something, man. It's little bits and stuff what niggas show they don't really believe this. And all it takes is the right word, the right preaching, the right situation, the right manner of adversity, and they'll drop it. You know what I'm saying? Niggas pump fake with the truth, just like niggas pump fake in the Christian church. And he said, listen what he tell you. And he said, therefore said I unto you that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father. He got to draw you. That's just what we read in number 16 last night, right? He got to choose you. He say, even tomorrow Yahuwah will show those who are his, who is Kadesh, whom he has caused to come near unto him, whom he have chosen to come near unto him. You can't make Yah bring somebody unto him. See, hold this right here and get you Matthew 11:25. We come right back. Just listen to what the man tell you. Because you're going to have to know the difference between the woman's seed and the serpent's seed. The woman's seed is going to hear. Now you see why he say he that have an ear to hear. Because as soon as they hear of me, they will be obedient unto me. They will yield to me. So if you hear of him and you don't yield, you don't believe. And he already knows that. Because he said, before I formed you in the belly, I knew thee. So he said he already knew who believed not and who was going to betray him. He already knows. We the ones don't know. But he already knows. 11:25, Matthew. And at that time Yahushua answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, master of Shamahim and Arats, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for it seemed good in thy sight. All things are delivered unto me of my Abba, and no man know the Son but the Abba, neither know any man the Abba save the Son, and to he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. That means you can't even know Abba Yahuwah unless the Son show him you. show him to you. Which means you have to be chosen. You have to be chosen. See, you can hear the word, but if he's not revealed unto you, you ain't gonna get it. Like they say, man, Paul was doing this here, and what the master say? That's a chosen vessel unto me. I have separated him to the family of the highest. I picked that one up. Don't worry about it, because you know why? They looking at it naturally. They not knowing, oh, he believed in me. He just didn't know. But when it's manifested, he gonna get it. Now, what you sit back and think, again, how many times did it take Paul to believe? One time. As soon as you hear of me, you will be obedient of me. As soon as you hear. As soon as you hear. Not 3 weeks from now. Not 6 weeks from now. Not 12 weeks from now. Not 2 years from now. You gonna believe as soon as, I'm telling you, bro. As soon as I heard, I ain't even hear no preaching of Mashiach or nothing. Then they say, boy, we came over here on boats. Oh yeah, boy, this whole thing true, man. This whole book is true. And you can't tell me different. Nobody could convince me different. I done been time with me and my homeboy were together. He like, yeah, boy, I seen somebody say, man, the book really talking about King David. It ain't really about the master. And he was kind of shaky with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They had kind of shook him up. Well, I went to the house and went and studied went and found every spot where it say my servant David and found precept to smash it. It's like 2009 or 10. Like, nigga, I wasn't shook. Like, nigga, I don't believe none of that. What they talking about? I done heard all type of stuff. I done heard dudes say, I used to believe in Jesus, Yahusha, but I'm telling you, you'll come around. I bet you lying, nigga. Because they be like, I used to be just like you. You know what I'm saying? No, you wasn't like me because I really believed it. You don't. You know what I'm saying? You don't. You want to sit back and look at it, bro. It shows who believe and who don't. John chapter 6, it shows now. And it shows in the works. It shows in the dedication and steadfastness to righteousness. You know what I'm saying? It shows. Because you're going to run off of anybody who believe, you gone. You know what I'm saying? I done started running. I done started running, boy. I'm out of here. We even gonna sit back and look at Lot's wife. You know she wasn't chosen. Because if she were chosen, she would have got out. You know what I'm saying? 6 and 65. And he said, therefore said I unto you, look what made him start walking. Just look at what made him start walking. Therefore said, and he said, therefore said I unto you that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father. And from that time many of his disciples went back and walked no more with it. Because they wasn't never with it. You know what nigga try to do? Well, I don't like this teacher here, so let me find another one or find another one. And then you don't believe, because it ain't going to matter. Because it's going to be the same word no matter where you go. If they son of Yahuwah, it ain't going to matter. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to matter. If you and Yahuwah, you already saying, and we're going to go look in Genesis too, in the law, what we were talking about last night. But people already been separated. Already been separated. Or whether they are Alahym or whether they not. Already been separated. And he put those that he separated in the midst of the wicked so that they can be there together. And it's in the law. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't know that, did I? You did? Where's that then? You tell me. Huh? Well, where at the Genesis 1?
He was probably describing the fruits of his kinds. And
that's one of them, but that ain't what I was thinking about.
Between your seed.
Yeah, that's in Genesis 3 though. Hey, I'm really talking about, he know what I'm talking about. He know I'm talking about Genesis 1 though.
if I look at it, I pull it out.
Genesis 1 and 9.
He just threw a verse out there. I bought that wild. Look at verse 67. Listen what he say. He say, then said Yahushua unto the 12, will ye also go away? Then Simon Peter answered him, Master, to whom shall we go? Thou had the words of eternal life. Peter said, where we gonna go at? You got Alahym word. You see the mind Peter? How you know Peter was chosen? He said, where am I gonna go at? Where am I gonna go at? I ain't leaving from you. You got the word. You got eternal life.
When you divided the light from darkness.
That's one of them. But that's not the one I'm specifically thinking about. But that is, that's, I mean, ain't that one of y'all said nothing wrong?
Yeah. When he put the sword down and when they got kicked out.
No, I'm talking about the Genesis 1, but ain't that one, even if you threw 9 in, I don't even know what's in verse 9. Let's see what's in verse 9.
And God said, let the water be under the heaven be gathered together.
Yeah, he wasn't wrong with that neither.
That's Like the stuff, throw that 3 up and just throw it. That's what happened.
We'll look at all the things that y'all mentioned, because none of them wrong, but that ain't what I was thinking about, though. Ain't he, though? Look at 6 and 69. He said, we believe and are sure thou art the Mashiach, the son of the living Alahym. What caused them to believe? As soon as we heard of you, we believe.
I'm a simple man.
Yeah, he said, depart from me, master. I'm a sinful man. I mean, you can sit back and look at it, right? When he say he'll take the weak things, where was the master from?
Bethlehem.
Well, I'm talking about where they thought he was from. Nazareth, right? And you know what they said about it? They said, we found the Mashiach, Yahushua Nazareth. And what they said? Say, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? I remember I told my people that, and she said she was on the bus, and she heard somebody talking about that, and she said it came to her head, it'd be like, then saying, yeah, the master come from Hubbard Street. You know what I'm saying? He come from Florida Ave. Can any good thing come off Florida Ave? Can any good thing come off 45th and Moncrief? Can any good thing come off Spires? Anything good thing come from Lackawanna? You know what I'm saying?
That's how it was. Okay.
It wasn't Nazareth, you know, Nazareth.
Oh, there we were telling like Nazarene. I was telling this yesterday. When you look at it, say he shall be called a Nazarene, because we dealt with this a long time ago. It's on tape too. The word there is netzer, means branch. So it says that it shall be written in the prophets that he shall be called the branch. So when you read Jeremiah 23 and you read Zechariah chapter 6 and you read all the other places where a branch shall come up out of the stem of Jesse, that's what it, because see, that's what the non-believers who claim they Torah and Tanakh only, that's what they use to try to discredit the New Testament. Oh, it say he was a Nazarene. It don't say nowhere in here he'll be called a Nazarene. I know it don't. It said he'll be called a Netzer, nigga. It said he'll be called a branch. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so you got mistranslations. It's mistranslations in the Torah and the Tanakh too, nigga. You got human beings translating the language. Mistakes can be made. Then on top of that, they don't understand and know that the New Covenant was written in Hebrew, clown. It just happens that they put a Greek version of it in the current context that you have it. Well, somebody need to show me the original Greek Hebrew manuscript. What I look like to you, nigga? Archaeologist to you, nigga?
That's what they first thing people.
You know what I'm saying? I look like I go digging and excavating for lost treasures. You know what I'm saying?
You probably talking about Genesis, the two greater lights.
I might be. Look at him. He thinking hard. Now he was looking what? Look at 6 and 70. Look at what he say. Yahushua answered them, have I not chosen you 12, and one of you is a devil? So guess what that means? There was a tear or a wicked one sitting right there with him, listening to the word with him the whole time. You want to see an example of that? He said, did I choose you 12, but one of y'all a devil? Hebrew 12 and 15.
No.
Hebrew 12 and 15. Looking diligently, lest any man fall of the favor of Alahym, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person. And we have profane right up there. It's kalal, right? You got the kot, the lamad, and the aleph. It literally means a separate teaching that brings death. You know what I'm saying? Anything that profane or makes the word common is a separate teaching that brings death. We already were looking at Nakash for the serpent, right? And that literally means a seed that separates to destroy. And what does the serpent or Hasatan come to do? But to teach you teachings that bring forth death. He say, Alahym tempt no man with evil. He say, when a man is tempted, he's drawn off and enticed of his own lust. And when lust is conceived, it brings forth death. It brings forth sin. And when sin brings, it brings forth death. Why you think, you know how we don't even think, the man tell you when you pray to say what? Lead me not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. That means you ask the man, don't put me in a situation where I could be tempted. Don't let the adversary tempt me. You know what I'm saying? Don't put me in a position where the adversary will tempt me. Because if you ain't careful, and your lust get drawn away and it's something that you want to do, you gonna sin and you gonna die. And you gonna be profane. Who comes with separate teachings that bring death but profane people? Why you sit back and say they made the Shabbat profane? They profane my Shabbats. They came and taught the people how to die. Because if you don't keep it Shabbats, what the law say?
Surely die.
You will surely die. We're going to look at that in a minute. But hold on, let's finish this verse right here though. He said, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know how that afterwards, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. That crying ain't going to get you nothing. Because you done already despise. If you despise the birthright, that means you despise the election. You despise my choosing. Look at Genesis 25 and 25. So when you turn around and look at it, he didn't cause Esau to approach unto him. He didn't allow Esau to approach. He didn't allow Esau to approach. Did he? He ain't drawing. He couldn't come near. Oh, I'm sorry, 25 and 22. Or 21. And Isaac entreated Yahuwah for his wife because she was barren. And Yahuwah was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. 2 different seeds. 2 different seeds growing up together, just like he said in Matthew 13. 2 different seeds. One people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So one group of people going to be stronger than the other people, right? Hold this and look at 1 John chapter 4. We good in Hebrews chapter 12. First John 4 and 4. We still holding 1 John 5 though. We'll get back to it eventually. Ye are of Alahym, little children, and you have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. He say, lest you be a profane person like Esau. Esau was a separate teaching of death. He was common. He was of the world. Meaning he was a friend of the world. Meaning he an enemy of Alahym. That's why he say, love not the world. The love of the Father is not in you. And if you are of the Father, you're not going to love the world nor anything that comes out of it, whether it's people, places, or things. Not anything that go contrary to Alahym. You're not going to cleave to that. Because if you cleave to something that's not of Alahym, you're going to have to drop. You can't serve 2 masters. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's one thing. It's the only difference what you got in that is say if you were already married, and then you're going to have to sit back and say, is it pleased for you to dwell with somebody who don't follow your God? You know what I'm saying? Like if they don't follow, how does that please you? He said they are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world hear them. We are Alahym, and he that know Alahym hear us. You already said, and what did we just read in Jeremiah? Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. So those who've been sanctified to salvation, they gonna hear those that's of Alahym because they know Alahym's voice. If you're not an Alahym, then you're not gonna know those that are Alahym. Therefore, you're not gonna know his voice. Therefore, you're not gonna listen. Therefore, you will perish. Now, we can take it however we want to take it. We can look at it however we want to look at it. But at the end of the day, there is a separation that this man is referring. Don't you realize when we look at, even with that well, with the name of the Harab for that well, even when we look at chosen, it's separate. When we look at profane, we talk about separate. When we sit back and look at elect, we talk about separate. When we looked at the words we looked at last night. Let me find them now. Well, I didn't hit beast. Well, even when we look at beast, it's separated. Even when we look at another word for beast, but we didn't go through it. Even when we look at serpent, it's talking about separated. Even when you look at the master's name and the father's name, it's still referring to separation. You know what I'm saying? There's a separation. And you look at Ruach, it's a separation. You know what I'm saying? There is a separation. That's what people tend to forget. He say, Be ye Kadesh. He say, thus saith Yahuwah to the children of Yasharal. Be ye Kadesh because I am Kadesh. There is a separation. There is no intermingling.
You said, can two walk together?
Unless they be agreed. So if you walk with a sinner, you agree with the sinner. You walk with a Kadeshim, you agree with a Kadeshim. You walk with Hashatan, you agree with Hashatan. You walk with Yahuwah Alahym by way of our master Yahushua HaMashiach, you walk with him. Ain't no in between. You can't walk with somebody unless you agree with them. And that's Amos chapter 3, about verse 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? That's what it say. Can two walk together except they be agreed? So how I'm gonna sit back and say I'm sanctified of Yahuwah and I can walk with a sinner, but I don't agree with them? I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? How can I say I'm a sinner and walk with a Kadeshim and say I agree with them? I'm lying. You know why? Because when that word come up and it precludes me from doing something and I'm a sinner, I'm a sin. Because that's what I do, I'm a sinner. If I'm a Kadeshim and that word come up and it precludes me from doing something, I ain't gonna do it because I'm a Kadeshim. So that's why he told you don't fool with it, because you gotta remember one thing. I remember you dust and ashes, man. This stuff is gonna pull at you, it's gonna gnaw at you. You know what I'm saying? And 99.9% of the time, the sinner wins. You know what I'm saying? The sinner wins. The Ruach is willing, but the flesh is weak. So that flesh is gonna usually buck. And you're going to put yourself in too many instances of temptation to where you're going to follow after your flesh to your own destruction. You know what I'm saying? That's why he give us these warnings, because we got examples of men of who that happened to. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about how nobody feel. It's a warning. When you get an instruction in a textbook that shows us exactly what to do and what not to do and examples of what not to do, this is an open book test. How you fail an open book test? This is literally an open book test, right? How you fail at? How you fail at? You failed it for one reason. You can only fail an open book test for one or two reasons. You don't care to take the test, and you don't care to take the test. You just showed up and just opened up the book and just crip retreated, because I'm just here. I didn't take the time to actually look or remember what it was that I was taught when it was time to take the test, so the information don't come back to my head to where I don't even actually got to go back and read the chapter, because I've already read the material. I'm already familiar with it. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say it's an open book test, because the book's supposed to be in your heart. So if the book is in your heart, it's going to open itself up to you, and no matter what situation or circumstance you find yourself in. You know what I'm saying? We can't destroy the serpent. Nah, come on, man. I can't help you out on that. This nigga here, man. How about the nigga just hit me just now? Talking about, can we sign the contract today? You know what I'm saying? That's how they be. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, we could have signed a contract yesterday. Yeah. Nigga, I was over there by your house.
I thought you said Sunday too.
Man, he talking about because he over this way. I can't help you, buddy, unless you want to slide by 9, son.
Yeah.
I can help you out. Good 9. Good 9. I can't sign that contract. You know what I'm saying? And I brought it with me too, just in case he hit me after the sun go down. I was ready.
Tell him after 9.
Well, I tell him when I get finished preaching. I'm not finna text him right now with it. You know what I'm saying? We'll deal with that in a minute. But come back to Genesis 25. I knew that was gonna happen though. I knew that dude was gonna do that. Cause he don't know, you know what I'm saying? So I can't be mad. He don't know. Like, oh, I just know that guy, he keeps the Sabbath. I know he keeps the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? So, but hopefully, Most High willing, boy, we're gonna be whipping this week, Darius. Next week. Soon as the check hit, boy, I'm going to get it. We out here with Stanley, boy, trying to get me some Uber money. I don't know if I can get it like Stanley. Stanley be getting it, boy. He showed me them numbers, boy. Stanley killing the game. He killing the game.
They killed 240.
A week?
Right now it's 140, but I think it might go to 240. I don't know.
A week?
140 a week guaranteed.
Goodly move. Genesis 25.
Plus an extra 100 for the baby, so I sent 240 a week just on that.
I feel you, man. You ain't doing nothing wrong. But you see how you say one people gonna be stronger than the other? Anybody who walk with Alahym, you're gonna be greater. Matter of fact, since I said that, go to the law. In Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. That's what makes you stronger than these other people. Because remember, Esau is considered a what? A Gentile, a heathen. He ain't chosen. But get what? Even those that, but we can get your Amos 9 too. But it's even some of those who are Esau and other nations will be saved though, that they chosen. Don't think it ain't none of the nations that ain't chosen. I didn't got to throw that in there just in case old mullet mouth niggas see it later and try to say, yeah, see, they can't get in. I ain't said that. 7:6. Make it 4. We ain't gonna read it here, but it's when he sit back telling you about not following with these people. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahuwah be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. So when we talking about turning away, you serve other gods. Because when you deal with sinners, sinners will make your heart hard. Then when the word comes, you become stubborn. And when you become stubborn, you become lawless and an idolater, according to 1 Samuel 15:23. You know what I'm saying? So this is how a sinner can cause you to serve another God, because now you serving the God of your belly. You know what I'm saying? And that's showing that you cursed and you Satan's seed. Do you see how the mystery of iniquity work? And to sit back and show you, because that's what Saul did. He served his own belly. Well, they got choice oxen, choice sheep. You know what I'm saying? All this type of stuff. He said, I curse you, Hashatan. Curse you, serpent. Go upon on your belly. Serve your desires. That's why he say you don't hear my word, because you of your father the devil. Your God is your belly. Your God is your desires and what you want and what pleases you well. That's why you can walk with Hashatan. That's why you agreed with it.
And he went to go see that fortune teller.
Yeah, that's after he had them been rejected. That's showing you what happens when you get reprobate. Because he the one set the edict in the land to get them all out. But once Yah had turned him over, he didn't have a problem going to see him. That's what happens when you don't obey. Leah, sit down. He said, for thou art a Kadesh people unto Yahuwah thy Alahym. Yahuwah thy Alahym have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So that means you are my family that I separated to me. I chose you for this, which means you're stronger than the other people because you have me. You see the difference? Because you have me. Yahuwah did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people. I took the base things. Hello?
Yeah, I'm speaking with Dwayne.
Yep. He will not speak with me anymore. Them Dale people been calling me for about 2-3 weeks straight. I told him ain't nothing wrong with this laptop. They scared to keep calling. I told this nigga, call me back next week on a weekday, on Monday at 7:45. Why are you calling me on the Shabbat at 4:04 p.m.? This is not the instruction that I gave you. Somebody's getting a letter. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. This is not what I told you. 7 and 8. Because Yahuwah loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he swore unto your fathers, have Yahuwah brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Mizraim. Know therefore that Yahuwah the Alahym, he is Alahym, the faithful Alahym, which keep covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repay them that hate him to their face to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hate him. He will repay him to his face. Remember what we looked at last night? He that hate me, hate my Father also. You hate me because when you heard my word, you didn't believe it, so you hate me. So therefore, since you hate me, you hate my word. And since you hate my word and you hate me, when we read that, right? Asa got that word and despised him. He put the seer in prison, right? Zechariah dropped that word on him. They hated him. They killed him, right? So he say, since you hate me, I'm going to come see you to your face. Niggas think it's a game, though. All this what we've been on, it says, if you believe that Yahushua is the Mashiach, then you are born of Alahym, which means you are chosen. Because what did we read last night in John? They born not by the will of man, nor by the flesh, you know what I'm saying? But by Alahym. He got to choose you. He got to choose you. Because to believe on the Son got to be revealed unto you. The Son just told you, no man can know the Father except I reveal him unto him. You can't get to the Father but by the Son. The Father got to draw you to the Son. he don't draw you to the Son, then you can't get to the Father, which means you can't get to the highest, which means you can't be on the derrock or the pathway to the highest for your sins to be covered. You can't even walk in the way. We know what I'm saying? And when you sit and you think on that, they're supposed to start generating in your brain like, hold up, man. I got some things to consider. You know what I mean? We don't do that though, because we too carnal. That's why I say I got to talk to you like men. I can't talk to you like you the sons of Alahym. I got to talk to you like men, like babies. And it shouldn't be that way after a period of time. You know what I mean? Come on back to Genesis 25. I know I said Amos 9. We get to it, man. Let's go and get Amos 9 now, get it out of the way, because it's just a tidbit. We'll read Amos 3 and 3, what Stanley called out anyway, just to put it online. That's real talk. How you gonna walk with Alahym you ain't agreed with him? He say don't do this, don't do that. You won't do. You can't walk with him then. We got to be ready to hear the man's word. And we're going to get into it more in depth when we start dealing with the 7 synagogues. Every time he say, hear what the Ruach saith to the houses, or the body, or the synagogue. Ain't that what he say? He that have a hear, what? Let him hear. He that hear me and is obedient unto me as soon as he hear me, hear what I got to say. That's why he say, he that have an ear. So guess what that means? I ain't talking to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Do you know how many times we done caught what a master say something and he ain't talking to everybody? He said, I say to you, my friends. Was he talking to everybody? No. You know what I'm saying? He ain't talking to. He said, I don't pray for them. He said, I don't pray for the world. I pray for them. I ain't talking to you niggas. I ain't talking to y'all. So guess who he talking to? Strictly my chosen. Strictly my chosen. He can stand out in front of everybody and say it in front of all, but I ain't talking to y'all. And even when he say he that have an ear to the Ruach of those, the Ruach say to those that are in the synagogues, that means even those who sit in the synagogues ain't his. Why would he say he that have an ear, let him hear, if everybody in there was his? He wouldn't have to say that, because they would all have an ear. When he say he that have an ear, he let it be known. Some of y'all can't hear. So again, that proves just because they walking don't mean, because we already seen that in John chapter 6. Just because they sitting there listening don't mean they are Alahym. That don't mean that. You know what I'm saying? Amos 9 and 12. Well, 11 is good. Make it 10. Listen what the man say. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent her. You know what niggas used to use for this verse right here? You know what niggas used to say this verse we're talking about?
Say that again.
He said, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, saying this evil will not overtake or prevent us. You know what they say that verse talking about? The FEMA camps. You had dudes say that talking about the FEMA camps. That ain't what that talking about. He say, this is Amos 9 and 10. He say, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. Get your Isaiah 66 and 15 and then Revelation 19, and we'll come right back to Amos 9. This ain't talking about no FEMA camps. I done seen dudes go in that Amos 9 and say they're talking about FEMA camps, bro. For behold, Yahuwah will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger and fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahuwah plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahuwah shall be many. Now he say the sinners of my people say this evil will not overtake nor prevent us. What did Alahym say? I create what? Good and evil, light and darkness, right? Now you come over here and swing and look at Revelation 19, and let's see what the master got in his hand. So you know what they're telling you? Oh, you think you can go and be sinning and this man ain't gonna come see you? Oh, okay. And he said, of my people. Because Peter told you in 1 Peter chapter 4, he said judgment start at the house of Alahym. And if the righteous if the ungodly scarcely be saved, where the righteous gonna show up at? And that's going to be the segue to these 32,000. You know what I'm saying? 19 and 11. And I saw Alahym open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Alahym. And the armies which were in Alahym followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth go a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and I shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he shall tread them in the winepress in the fierceness of the wrath of the Almighty Alahym. So all the sinners of my people are going to get slain by the sword. Who say this evil? Don't you remember what we looked at in the law? Say, if I walk in the imagination of my own thoughts to add drunkenness to thirst, all the curses in this book shall be laid upon this man's head. Come on back to 8 and 9. Verse 11, and that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that has fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. We know what this is. Say, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I'll build it again. The house of David, what house Mashiach come from? He say he'll make it as the days of old. He say, Father, give me the esteem that I had with you before the world was. So guess what you sitting back to look at? He's sitting back to look at when you've been chosen to salvation from the foundation of the world to be immersed in the death of Mashiach. He trying to set you up as you were in the days of old, even though you weren't actually physically there. Because you were already chosen for this. You were already chosen for this. And that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith Yahuwah that do this. If they called by his name, that mean they chosen. Come on back to Genesis 25. Then get Genesis 1 and 14. I got entirely too much stuff in my brain, and then the stuff be falling out, which I be having when I like this here, man. Because me and Trav were talking about quite a lot of the stuff that's in my head, though, is in Judges 6, 7, and 8. We were talking about that stuff this morning, because he had mentioned something in Judges with the dudes with the water, but I hit the wrong chapter. But it went along with what I was talking. I couldn't remember what chapter it was in, so I went to 8 instead of 7. And there was something in 8 that's along with what we talking about. So we look at Genesis 25 and 23. And Yahuwah said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. They called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. Now, we're not going to go through all this here. I was talking with a brother about this the other day. I do not know how niggas sit back and say that Esau was eating raw meat when the book say clear as day with lentil soup. Like, straight up, dude be like, yeah, Esau. See, that's how you know Esau the white man. Because the white man liked raw meat. See, Esau ate raw meat. Because it say in Hebrews, he sold his birthright for a morsel of meat. We're just knowing that meat just means something to eat. In some instances, it doesn't literally mean animal flesh. But if you sit back and you look right there, it says in verse 29, he saw pottage. And he gave him pottage of lentils and bread. You know what color lentils is, right? If it's pottage, he said it was red pottage, right? The bread and the wine, man. When the master drank that bread and that wine, he forsook his birthright. You know what I'm saying? When he did that, he put his birthright down. What good is my birthright gonna do me right now? When he drank that bread, when he drank that wine and he ate that bread, what good is my birthright right now? He got up on the stake and died. He got his birthright back when he got up. Now you see Esau turn around, he like, man, I despise my birthright. And he got red pottage and bread. That's the bread and the wine right there. That's where you niggas get bloody meat from. Y'all talking like this man talking about he was sitting around eating bit bets on a bike. Or he got a medium rare steak. Well, when I was working at the ale house, boy, I used to see them people like, you should have just went to the grocery store and just grabbed you one out the thing and just ate it. I'm talking about there ain't nothing on it. This thing ain't even brown nowhere. It's blood in there, dude. How you eat that? How do you derive pleasure from that? Genesis 1:14. But they do it. How many of y'all used to eat rare steaks? I ain't talking about rare. I ain't really did. Well done, nigga.
Well, that's it.
I had a medium rare.
Burgers too, well done.
You gotta make sure you tell white folks that, cause if you don't tell them, they gonna bring you some blood bite.
And I'm sitting in the back.
You know what I'm talking about? You got to tell them, cause they automatically assume you want a little pink. I don't want no pink on my burger, sir. You want pink? And them white folks don't care. They don't never get sick. I bet a lot of they bath. That's probably why when y'all were cleaning them residential homes, the bathroom was so nasty. All that raw meat they eat, they everywhere. They mess their whole stomach up. And blah. You know what I'm talking about? Like this here, man. You out here sleeping all on feces, all in the bathroom. 1:14.
What's that for? No,
Ooh, feces?
no, he said something for that. He said there's something everywhere.
Fecal matter. Oh. Everywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're like this here. They run it. They run in the bathroom. They run it like this. Hold on, I gotta get. Just splattered everywhere. They don't care where it get at. They get up, it's on their back. They don't even take a shower. 1:14, babe. And Alahym said, let there be lights in the firmament of Shamahim to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the Shamahim to give light upon their rats, and it was so. And Alahym made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night, the stars also. So, when did the stars come out? No, I'm saying like
On the day.
when the stars come out, right? When you see the stars, right? Just for the sake of the right, let's see what it is. It's black outside. It's darkness, right? Hey, I ain't no artist. No claim to be, right? It's dark outside, right? So then we got little stars here, right? And they right there in the firmament, right? Right there in the midst of it. Right there in the midst of it, right? So look at Philippians 2:15. So right this is the wheat dwelling amongst the tares. Stars dwelling in the midst of darkness. He said that you may be blameless and harmless, the sons of Alahym without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. Because remember, he said they word done went out from the whole end of the world, right? So when you turn around and you look at it, because he set the stars in darkness and they light shining in the midst of darkness. Come over here to Judges chapter 7. So he show you how his chosen always going to be amongst the wicked. Even in congregations and assemblies, it's no difference. I don't know where people get it in at that everybody who part of a congregation, everybody going to make it. That's not the truth of the matter. That's not the reality of the matter. Judges 7:1. Then Jerubbaal, who is Gideon name means fellow. But you know what I'm saying? Remember what Yakanan the Mercer said, the axe is laid to the root of the trees. So basically like an axe, cut you down. And all the people that were with him rose up early and pitched beside the well of Harod, so that the host of the Midianites were on the north side of them by the hill of Moreh in the valley. We know what Moreh mean, right? Teacher. So it said they at the well of Harod. And here we go. Ain Harod, or the well of Harod. So what do we have? To know the hand that brings eternal life. So That's what, so when we look at well, anytime we look at well in the book, remember he say, anybody believe him, it's a wellspring of life in them? To know the hand that brings eternal life, or the seed of continual life. That's why he told the Samaritan woman in the 4th chapter of John, that he said, if you would have known who it was who was speaking to you, you would have asked him to drink, because then you would have known the hand of the seed that brings continual life. So then you got Karad, and what do we have? And I'm sorry, that's the on, the yard, and the noon for this well. So then for Karad, we got the Kot, the Rosh, and the Dalet. The separated to the highest to get in the door. So this well, to know the hand, the seed of continual life, will sanctify you to the highest so you can enter into his kingdom. All righty then. That's showing again what? A choosing, how he that believes that Yahushua is the Mashiach is born of Alahym, because then you would know the hand of the seed that brings forth eternal life, because you would be born of Alahym, therefore you would be his seed. Then the place where the well would stay at is the separated place of the highest that causes you to enter into the door. This is what's going to get you in. This is where they at. And guess what? This is why I'm linking this up what Troy put up here earlier today. And then they at the hill of Moreh. They at the hill of the teacher. When Mashiach was crucified, where they took him at?
The name of the place?
Did they not take him to a hill?
Mm-hmm.
So when you sit back and you look at it and you say you're going to be immersed in his death and you're going to crucify yourself with him, you're going to the hill of the teacher. This is where they at. This is where they say they turn around and said they were by the hill of Moreh in the valley. They were by the hill of the teacher. So when we look at what Troy put up there, get Ezekiel 47:1 and Zechariah 14:9. I didn't get that Amos 3:3, but like I say, can two walk? You can't be perfect in one with the Father and the Son and you don't agree with them. That's why he say, he that hear my words and keep my commandments, he it is that love me, and I and my Father will make our abode with them. We'll dwell with them. I can't Zebulon with you, man, if we not agreed. A lot of people don't realize why they can't get the Ruach, because you not agreed, you not walk, you don't actually agree with what he's saying. That's why he can't walk with you. 47:1. Afterwards he brought me again into the door of the house, or the Dalet. I am the door. That's what Mashiach said, right? Of the house. Which one of it is the house? Escape my brain. The Bat, right? So he's sitting back telling you that we see two characters right there, right? And behold, waters issued from under the threshold of the house eastward, for the forefront of the house stood towards the east, and the waters came down from under the right side of the house and at the south side of the altar. And he brought me out of the way of the gate northward, and led me about a way without unto the other gate, by the way that looked eastward, and behold, there ran waters out of the west side, the right side, my apologies. And the man that had the line in his hand went forth eastward, and he measured 1,000 cubits, and he brought me through the waters were to the ankles. Now we ain't gonna sit back and go through that there, but eventually the waters almost go all the way up to the whole body. There's immersion in this, right? You know what I'm talking about? But look at the key thing he said. Look at the key thing. I see who called it. Why did he say, then he brought me out of the way of the gate northward?
North is where Mount Zion is.
Who gate on the north side? Judah's gate on the north side. And the master from the tribe of Yehuda, right? He's from Judah. So now this makes a lot of sense when he say, I'm seeing these waters issuing out of this house, and then he brings me up out of the east gate or the north gate so I can see the waters issuing out on the right side. And why is that important? Because these water issuing out of the right side is the well, to cause you to know the hand of the seed of continual life. Because you're going to have to drink from the cup or the water. You know what I'm saying? That's why he say, come, ask me of water. Ask me for drink. Then when you ask me for drink, if you partake of this well of salvation, you can know that. That's why he say, no man can come to the Father except the Son revealing. No man can come unto me except the Father drawing. So the Father's got to draw you to draw water out of the well so you can know the right hand. He said, what did he say? Whom is the arm of Yahuwah revealed, and who has believed his report? Who is the yard of review of Yahuwah been revealed? That right hand. Who has it been revealed? If it's revealed to you, that means he's letting you know it. And if the only way you can be revealed to it is if you've been chosen. You read in Acts chapter 10 about verse 38, and he say that the master, that Alahym had chosen men aforetime to see Mashiach after he rose from the dead. These men were already chosen for this. Already chosen for this. Not everybody, but men chosen aforetime. Can you imagine that you walking and you alive and you were chosen to be able to see that? Do you understand that it wasn't nothing that Judas could do to change the fact that he was going to hell, that he was chosen to betray the Mashiach, and it was absolutely nothing he could do to stop that? That he was never going to hear the word. He wasn't never going to hear it. So when you hear that man say there are vessels of mercy and vessels of destruction, it's not a game. It's not a game. Judas was never going to hear the word. He was not made. He was born for the explicit cause to betray the son of the living Alahym. That's what he was born for. But you're going to sit back and tell me anybody can get the word? He sat there with the man. I was talking about somebody talking about using Judas, it don't count. What makes Judas different than anybody else? Judas ain't no different than nobody else. Nobody else. Because the book say in Daniel that there will be people who will corrupt the wise with flatteries so they can be killed, right? Just like Judas did with the master. You think so? You mean to tell me if I were preaching the word, or you went to preaching the word, or you went to preaching the word, it ain't gonna be a nigga sitting next to you like he love you the whole time? He there to kill you? And he ain't heard nan type of word? Ain't no difference. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. What's already been, it's already been done. So it ain't nothing that so guess what? Before Judas came and betrayed somebody, it was somebody before Judas. Didn't Saul come with all them flatteries with David? Wanted to kill him though, didn't he? Didn't Joab come to Amasa with flatteries? Killed him though, didn't they? They sat down and heard the same word. David told Joab, you killed the man more righteous than you. You know what I'm talking about? Just like Judas did. You killed the man more righteous than you. Ain't nothing new under the sun. And if you've been learning the word, you're supposed to know anything that happened during the master time period, that done already happened for. That done already happened for. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Not a thing. What that is? Mark 13 and 53. It's definitely not 53 verses of Mark. Trying to remember what that is. Think about that though. Ain't nothing new under the sun, right? So why anybody think anything different, that it ain't nobody, that people are ordained to go to hell? Why would we sit back and think it's different? Why would you sit back and think that somebody could sit back and hear the word and not get it just like somebody else? Why we think Mark 14 and 50? I'm sorry. Why we think it's why would we think it's different? We think it's different because we don't want to believe that. (57) Matter of fact, 56. For many bear false witness against him, but their witness agreed not. And there arose certain and bear false witness against him, saying, we heard him say, I will destroy this temple that is made with hands, and within 3 days I will build another made without hands. We know what Isaiah 66 say. He said, do I dwell in temples made with hands? He said, you are the temple of the living Alahym. What agreement does the living Alahym have with idols? What agreement does the living, like Troy just mentioned, what agreement does the living Alahym have with covetousness, which is idolatry? What agreement does the house of Alahym have with stubbornness, which is idolatry? What agreement does he have with that? This is why those who are not of the man of sin gon' buck him when he come, because he says his people abhor idols. Anybody that's of Yahushua, anybody that's of the seed of Yasharal, they abhor idols. So you're going to hate covetousness, you're going to hate stubbornness, you're going to hate actual fake gods. You're going to hate that. You're going to despise that. You're going to resist it. Those that are chosen of Alahym, they're going to hate it every time. You're going to hate it every time. So again, let's go to John chapter 4. 4 and 10. Before we swing around there to 1934 of the same book. And then after that, Hebrews 6 and 1. Yahushua answered and said unto her, if thou knew the gift of Alahym, and who it is that say to thee, give me to drink, thou would have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman saith unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? You see how he say he drank of the well? The master had to drink of the same thing we drunk from. He drunk from the same thing. He said not only is him, but his children and his cattle. If you remember that in Genesis 29, it was 3 sets of flocks. His beasts, the Gentiles too. They got to drink too. He said it was 3 separate flocks in Genesis 29 he gave that water to. Yehuda, Yasharal, and the heathen. All of them get to drink. Yahushua answered and said unto her, whosoever drink of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drink of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up to everlasting life. He said that well, right? To know the hand of the seed of continual life. To know the hand. So he's sitting there telling you to drink from that well, you will know the right hand of eternal life. This is what you will know. This is what they were drinking from. They were drinking from, and Judges said, we're going to go back to the well of Karad, which is to know the hand of continual life that separates to the highest to get in the door. And didn't we just read about that man talking about getting in the door? Go back to Zechariah 14 and 9, because I almost let that one slide. And how else you going to get in the door? You can't get in unless you've been chosen. How we know that? Because we read Psalm 65 and 4 last night. Blessed is the man whom thou choose, who you draw to come near unto thee, that he may enter into thy house and to be satisfied with the goodness of thy temple. He's got to choose you to get in his house. But everybody feel like everybody gonna get in, because y'all desires for all men to be saved, but all men ain't gonna be saved. That's the sad reality. And if people don't like it, I mean, take it up with y'all, man. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm trying to find out what it was. That's Jezreel. Yeah, trying to double check with that Jezreel. I know that's Jezreel. 14 and 9. 14 and 8, my apology, was 14 and 7. But it shall be one day which shall be known to Yahuwah, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. And it shall be in that day that living water shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them towards the former sea, and half of them towards the hinder sea, and in the summer and winter it shall be. Now how do you sit back and look at that waters came out from Jerusalem in the summer and the winter? How how water coming out of Jerusalem in the summer and the winter? Summer and the winter. That's what it says. And he says, and Yahuwah shall be king over all their rats in that day, and there shall be one Yahuwah, and his name one. How does living waters go out of Jerusalem in the summer and the winter? We looking at the summer aspect right now. We ain't got to go get John 19:34. Y'all know he got hit in his side and water came out his side, right? Huh?
I said coming out of Mashiach when he got hit in the side.
That's the summer, right? That's the summer, right? Then we know that he the temple of the living Alahym in Revelation 21. Go ahead.
I know winter means like dead. And I know when he rose from the dead.
But no, I mean, but he talking about summer and the winter, that water coming out. So summer and winter mean the literal season.
Then back probably when Tabernacles.
So when he come back, he say, what happened when Mashiach come back? The dead in Mashiach shall rise first. He gonna send his ruach out. He gonna water the ground. He gonna water the ground, bear its fruit.
Whoever a continual spring,
A continual spring. Even those that are in the grave, that spring don't stop. Remember what he said? Baruch, he say, Baruch are the dead who die in the master from henceforth, and their works do follow them. You know what I'm saying? That seed is in them. It's continual water, summer and winter. When the winter time comes, when tabernacle comes, that's when they get out. That's when they get up. But all the reason being because they had done partook of that well. Hold on. You all right, brother? So they had done partook of the well. Partaking of that well will cause you can't get eternal life if you don't know the Son. He that believe on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Out will come Eve, or Hakwa, mother of all living, right? Knowing that the word for ruach is feminine. It's a feminine word. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to believe, and that's on. You got to be chosen to believe. God got to touch your heart. He got to open your heart. You know what I'm saying? He that is of Alahym hears Alahym's words. So just like we were sitting back looking at the stars dwelling amongst darkness, the wheat dwelling amongst the tare, the Kadeshim is dwelling amongst sinners the whole time. Even in the midst of the congregation. We know that from the wilderness. Caleb had a right ruach on him. There were sinners amongst the people. He said the gospel was preached unto them as well as unto us, but it did not profit them, not being mixed in the faith of them that heard it. So there were sinners amongst them. So why do niggas think that all of a sudden everybody who's congregated together believes? Everybody who with you don't believe? He said, who was he displeased with that came up out of Mizraim? But those whose carcasses fell in the wilderness. And why did it fall? Because they sinned. Because they sinned.
That's why they were saying, like, because we be of Abraham's seed. Like,
yeah, he said, don't say to yourself, he said, man, Alahym is able to raise up children from these stones of Abraham. Your stock don't mean nothing. Because that don't mean you have an ear to hear. That don't make you of Alahym because you are Abraham's seed. You know what I'm saying? That's how we think. Oh, see? Because we think everybody's supposed to get it. But then when we actually examine the word, we see everybody ain't supposed to get it. Because everybody's not of him, nor has been chosen. Come on back to Judges chapter 7. And we already know what a separate teaching of death. What is the adversary coming to teach? You shall not surely die. He comes as a light, but yet he teaching darkness. You know what I'm saying? Promising you liberty, and you know what I'm talking about? But at the same time making you being bonded to corruption. That's what profane teaching does. Remember we were talking about vanity, worthless words? I don't know why people don't see that this word is about separation. If you truly gonna be a Yahuwah, you're gonna have to be separated. And you're gonna have to separate yourself from your mind and your flesh, and from the world and from sinners. So we in Judges 7 and 2. Yahuwah said unto Gideon, the people that are with thee are too many for me to give to the Midianites into their hands, lest Yasharal vault themselves against me, saying, my own hand hath saved me. Come over here to Ephesians 2 and 2. That's why he say it's not by the works of the law, but by faith, that no man might boast. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's no more favor if the law is what justifies you, because then you can say my own hand saved me and not the blood of Mashiach. So you see how it's faith in this man's name and faith in his blood, that's what's going to save you. Because then, why? Because as soon as you heard of him, soon as you known the hand that brought forth the seed of continual life, soon as you heard of it, then guess what you're going to do? I'm going to separate myself to the highest so I can get in the door. Why is that? Because I'm into the family that's separated to the highest. Why? Because the family that's separated of the hand of the highest is what brought me into there. I'm the family member of the separated hand of the highest. I'm of his elect. I'm his chosen. You know what I'm saying? Who sets that to do that? We already read it in Jeremiah 1. I sanctified thee. Yahuwah said, I did it. It wasn't anything that Jeremiah did. So Jeremiah could never open himself and say, see, I'm a prophet unto the nations because I'm so righteous. That keeps what? Humility. You can't, that's why you say love don't vaunt itself. Those who love Alahym and the love, I can't I can't esteem, I can't do any of that. That's why he bring afflictions. That's why he brings sufferings and chastisement. You can't never lift yourself up. You're going to always have to give the credit and the esteem to the living Alahym. It's got to go to him. Make it one. He says, and you have he quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins, when in time past you walked according to the course of the world and the prince of the power of the air, the Ruach that now work in the children of disobedience, among whom we also had our behavior in times past in the lust of the flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. But Alahym, who was rich in mercy for his great love, wherein if he loved us, because remember, I love you with an everlasting love of old, I've drawn you with loving kindness. Even when we were dead in sins, have quickened us together with Mashiach. By favor ye are saved. And he have raised us up together and made us sit together in Shamahim in Yahushua HaMashiach, that in the ages to come he might show the exceeding riches of his favor and his kindness towards us through Yahushua HaMashiach. Do you see how you say that loving kindness? That's what he's drawing you with. And it's from old. Because Mashiach is from everlasting and of old, which means I've chosen you from the foundation of the world, just like I made him in the foundation of the world to conform you into his image. He says, for favor are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves is a gift of Alahym, not of works, lest any man should boast. This is what he's saying, lest you sit back and say we saved ourselves. So y'all got to set up. You'll never be able to open your mouth and say you saved yourself. That's why when all that stuff was going on, the nigga was like, oh man, you know, how you learn this stuff? Oh, you learned it this here. You taught it yourself. You just smart. Then that would me be boasting then. It wouldn't be a favor through faith, because then I would be boasting and say it was of myself, that I did this. You know what I'm saying? That's wicked. That's a number one, that's a wicked thought for a nigga even to ask and to even consider in their mind that it's true. You know what I'm saying? That shows the duplicity of the mind, just like when the master said, when they came, it would have been like, only difference is I ain't say it. Like, why you tempt me? You know what I'm saying? Because in actuality, that's what you're doing. You tempted me to sin with my lips, that I might get cut off. You know what I'm talking about? That's what, see, I know enough book to know, I know what you're doing. I know what you want me to say. I ain't gonna say it though. I ain't gonna say that much, but he was like, when they said, well, you in the pot? No, I ain't one. You said you was one. Well, I ain't one. You said I ain't one. I ain't one. You know what I'm saying? I ain't none of that. You know what I'm talking about? I tell you what you want to hear on that. Because they ask me, say, you didn't say it? Hey, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever. Oh, you ain't got no rule. I ain't got nothing.
You said, what do they say I am? That's all you test.
You know what I'm saying? But then sometimes you sit back and look at it, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? They say, oh, you say it. So if you say I ain't no pot, I ain't one then. You ain't got no spirit, I ain't got it then. He ain't with you, he ain't with me then. I care less. You know what I'm saying? The word bear witness of itself. Where that word come from, because niggas got to sit back and figure out, where does it come from? Oh, see, you just smart, so you read a lot, so you could just put, that's giving credit to yourself. That's taking away who gave it. Because I'm saying, because all it is what we would say grace or the favor of Alahym. Favor, all this sit back and look at when you say grace or favor, that's a gift that is given unto you that you did not earn. You know what I'm saying? You didn't earn that. It was nothing that you did to allow you to get that. Therefore, I can't never boast in myself. You always hear me say, you know, by the grace of Yahushua HaMashiach, because that's who you got to give to him. You got to give to him. If you do that, you wicked. That's why I say the mind that generates that question is wicked. They don't realize it. But you don't realize you tempting somebody to entice them to sin. Because they not realizing when you say, yeah, man, I taught this to myself, bro. You know, I just read a lot and then, you know, I was just able to put that stuff together, bro. You know what I'm saying? I could have just damned my soul straight to hell. I ain't finna do that. You know what I'm saying? All that other stuff, yeah, I ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But that right there, I ain't cross that line. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm boasting in myself. Well, look what he said now. For favor are ye saved through faith. Through faith. And that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Alahym, not of works, lest any man should boast. So that means he chose you. It's not of him that will, nor of him that run, but of Alahym who choose, or Alahym that called. It ain't nothing that you did. What did Jacob do to get chosen? Nothing. What did Isaac do to get chosen? Nothing. He said, Isaac thy seed shall be called. Isaac ain't do nothing. You understand what I'm telling you? Nothing. What did Jeremiah do? Nothing. What did Abraham do? Nothing. He ain't do nothing. He ain't do nothing. What did David do to get chosen? Nothing. He didn't do anything. And the list go on and on and on and on. What did Peter do to get chosen? Nothing. What did Matthew do? What did he do? Nothing. What did John and Andrew them do? Nothing. That way you can't, niggas want to boast. That's that pride. Niggas sit back and hear you say, man, that come from Alahym, man. I ain't teach myself that. And they thinking you trying to lift yourself up and they can't see the humility in it. Because they blinded by pride or envy 1 or stupidity 3. Come on back to Judges 7. Yes, sir. What'd you say, man? Huh? Well, you sound like you about half dead. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, well you need to go see the doctor then.
You say what?
Threw off some blood. Yeah, you need to go see somebody about that. Boy, I don't like the doctor, but if I do that, boy, you need to go to the doctor, boy. Yeah, that's real talk, boy. You need to go to the doctor. I'm talking about 20 minutes ago. Yeah, I ain't being funny or nothing. Like, yeah, you really need to go to the doctor, man, and you need to let us know which hospital you went to too. You hear me?
I don't got insurance, man. I'm not.
I hear you, but boy, I ain't got no. I don't like doctor. And I ain't got no insurance either. But that right there though, well, you need to go see about that. That's never a good sign, bro. Throwing up blood or blood in your stool, that ain't never a good sign. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean necessarily something bad is going on, but you need to see what's going on. And you talking to a man don't like no doctors. If I'm telling you to go to the doctor, man, you need to go see about that.
There's a lot of blood. Throwing up blood or blood coming out your boot, out your bum. It's pretty much
No, he say Cora. So what you say, Cora?
I mean, I know I've had that before on multiple occasions, and I'm kind of like, bro, I'm just real. I ain't going to the people.
Yeah, I hear all that there, but I ain't playing with no throwing up no blood though. I'm not even finna play with that, cause that could be a multitude of things, man. You can sit back and say all that there, but sometimes, boy, you can't be that stubborn though. Cause throwing up blood, you ain't supposed to be throwing up no blood, and you ain't supposed to have no blood in your stool. You know what I'm talking about? Cause that could be something wrong internally, and you got to go see about that.
I usually give it a day or so and see if it clears up. But everybody, I know from his office it's cleared up.
Yeah. It could have been because he said he was throwing up. He might have been throwing up with a lot of force.
Yeah, that's what it was. Cause everything I tried to consume, it come right back up.
Have you been able to drink water?
Yeah, he might
Yeah,
do.
that come back up.
He said, yeah, that's what you got a good old fashioned food poisoning. At least you ain't have it like I did. I couldn't throw up though. We at about verse 3. He say, now therefore go to and proclaim in the ears of this people, saying, whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart from Mount Gilead. And there returned of the people 20 and 2,000, and there remained 10,000. So there were 32,000 people there.
Judges 7.
And 3. We know 1 John 4 and 18 say what? Perfect love cast out fear. And who gonna be the first two people in the lake? The fearful and the unbelieving. He said, Alahym is not giving us the ruach of fear. So how do you people say you trust? How you trust in Alahym and you fearful and unbelieving? Guess what that means? You not an Alahym, he ain't chose you. That's why they went on back. And Yahuwah said unto Gideon, the people are too many, are yet too many. Bring them down unto the water. Bring them where? To the water or the well. Bring them down here. Bring them to know the hand of continual life. Bring them to them. He said, and I will try them for thee there. And it shall be that of whom I say unto thee, this shall go with thee, the same shall go with thee. And whomsoever I say unto thee, this shall not go with thee, the same shall not go. So he said he gonna bring them down to the water to try them. So guess what it means? This man can sit back and let you hear the word and bring you to Mashiach to try you. See what's in your heart. See what's in your heart. He said he gonna give every man according to his work shall be. He got to try you. If he bringing you down to know that to the water, and the water's in the Alahym or the well or Quran, that means he's got to bring you down to know the hand of the continual life. I mean, I'm gonna let you hear about this, man. I'm gonna see what's in your heart. I'm gonna see what's in your heart. And when I see what's in your heart, man, you know I was looking at something earlier today, right? You know what we talking about? As soon as you hear me, you'll be obedient unto me. You know in 1 Corinthians 14:21, you know Paul quotes Yeshayahu 28, right? Where he talk about by another tongue will I speak to this people. And he's saying for all that they won't believe me. And all you got to do is look in the book of Acts. They were speaking in tongues, right? Spoke the word in another language, they still didn't hear. They still didn't. Like I told you, that thing in Acts is almost similar to what we looking at in Judges, because the Ruach were poured out on them. They came down to the well to be tried. Because what was Peter doing? Was he not preaching Yahushua to them? So they were getting to know the hand of continual life. They were getting to know to be separated to the highest to enter into the door, and only 3,000 people got saved. And we don't know how many people were out there, but I guarantee you it was more than 3,000. All the places they listed, these people came up out from all around the whole earth. And you mean to tell me out of all them people, only 3,000 people heard the word? Only 3,000? And you telling me everybody, he that is Alahym hears Alahym word. So all them people out there, only 3,000 were of Yahuwah. When you hear something like that, that's supposed to put a shockwave in your brain like, whoa. Because you would wager more people than that would have heard. He say, whichever ones I say go with you, they yours. Whichever ones I say ain't, they ain't going with you. John chapter 17, verse 7, man. We come back to Judges. All they're trying to do is sit there to register in your brain. To be chosen of Alahym is truly a blessing. So look at what he's talking about, right? Many are called, few are chosen. 32,000 people came, right? 32,000. 32,000. And it got bucked down all the way to 300. 17:7. Make it 6. I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, thou gave them me, and they have kept thy word. Ain't that what he just told Gideon? The ones that I say right this here, them gonna go with you. But these over here, no, them ain't yours. Now they have known that all things whatsoever thou hast given me are of thee. For I have given unto them the words which thou gave me, and they have received them, and have known surely that I came out from thee. They have believed that thou didst send me, because as soon as they hear of me, they will become obedient unto me. I pray for them, I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am esteemed in them. Look at about verse 14. I have given them thy word, and the world have hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. That's why I say you can't love the world and be an Alahym, and you can't be a friend of it. Two cannot walk together except they be agreed. I pray not that thou should take them out of the world, but that thou should keep them from the evil. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Now swing over here to the 15th chapter of John and look what the master told him. 15 and 16. John 15 and 16. You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit, that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. These things I command you, that you love one another. And if the world hates you, know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, listen to what he tell you. But I have chosen you out of the world. Therefore the world hath hated you. I have made you my family and separated you to the highest. I pulled you out from these people. That's why he say greater is he that is in you. That's why he say one will be stronger. And we know, okay, he said Jacob there, but that's Yasharal, him that shall rule as El, or all. He's greater than you. You're greater than them. You have a power that they don't have. You know, in Hosea, it said that Jacob took hold of his brother's heel and he had power with Alahym. I'm greater than you. I'm stronger than you. Why? Not for no other reason. Because I set my love upon you and chose you. It's not a work. What did the children of Yasharal do to get chosen? Nothing. What did Abraham do? Nothing. So you can't do nothing, but that's the beauty of how Yahuwah work. He got to get the esteem. He got to get the praise. If he don't get it, it shows the wickedness of the individual. John 17. Because those that are not of Alahym, they're not going to give him the praise. They're going to want to take it on unto themselves. (17 and 23) or 21. We'll make it 20. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word. That they all may be one as thou, Father, art in me and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. So let's go back to Judges, right? Let's see what happens. Verse 5. So he brought down the people unto the water, and Yahuwah said unto Gideon, every one that lap of the water with his tongue as a dog lap, him shalt thou set by himself. Sanctify them by thy truth. Thy word is true. Because he telling them to set him by himself. That means these are the ones I've chosen to set apart to myself. And he says, and him shalt thou likewise everyone that bow down upon his knees to drink, and the number of them that lapped, putting their hand to their mouth, were 300 men. But all the rest of the people bowed down upon their knees to drink water. And Yahuwah said unto the Gideon, by 300 men that lap will I save you, and deliver the Midianites into thy hand. Let all the other people go every man unto his place. And you know what's simple when we sit back and look at that? What we read in John 6, when we read all of it. When he told them, my blood is drink indeed. They didn't want to drink that blood. So he said, these men right here, you sanctify them and you set them over here to themselves. The rest of them, go home. I ain't choke. But you see how fast that went from 32,000 people to 300? Because at the end of the day, all he wanted was the 300. I don't want the rest of y'all. Okay then. Judges chapter 8. I can't hit all of it, so I'm going to give you Judges chapter. Judges 8, right? About Judges 8 and 15. 8 and 15. There's one particular thing in here that I want. I gotta make sure I was looking at it, but I was looking at it in the app and not on the page. So I gotta make sure I can find it. Back up to about 8 and 5. And he said unto the men of Succoth, give, I pray you, loaves of bread unto the people that follow me, for they be faint. I'm pursuing after Zibah and Zalmunna, kings of Midian. What that sound like to you? He said, give bread to those that follow me, for they be faint. Just see if you catch what story that is. When the master was walking, what did he tell him? To give bread to the people because they've been following me, they'll pass out. And the princes of Succoth said, are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in our hand, that we should give bread unto thine army? Gideon said, therefore, when Yahuwah have delivered Zebah and Zalmunna into my hand, then will I tear your flesh with the thorns of the wilderness and with briars. Now go to Hebrews chapter 6, where we were talking about holding this here. See, this is what happened to them that ain't chosen. See, there was some other people that I wanted to get to. We ain't get to it today, because I say it too much. Because we can sit back and show you how Solomon, right? And y'all willing another time, we'll go into it in more detail. You got Solomon, right? Solomon was not supposed to be king. You know that, right?
You said Solomon wasn't supposed to.
According to the lineage and how he was supposed to go, no, he wasn't.
He was supposed to go to the firstborn.
He was supposed to go to his brother. His brother tried. Remember, his brother went and asked Bathsheba, "Could you go ask Solomon? Could you give me such and such the wife?" And he said, "What else do you want? The kingdom?" He said, "Boy, you done spoke on your life. I bet I kill you for the day over with." Solomon was chosen to be king, but according to lineage and bloodline and how the kingdom gets bequeathed, he wasn't supposed to get that. He was not next in line. You know what I'm saying?
David chose him.
No, David didn't choose him. Y'all chose him.
But I'm saying then David pointed out that Solomon was like, no, he told the people.
No, but before David told him to do that to Solomon, y'all had already told David, I'm choosing him. He bucked the son who was supposed to go to and said, I'm giving it to Solomon. He's going to be a man of rest, and he going to build my house, and I'm going to be his Abba, and he going to be my son.
Yeah,
he going to be my Ben. This is what I told him.
When he crossed over his hand, because the firstborn was supposed to get.
He chose who he wanted to. But I'm sitting back saying, but his brother was mad about that. You know what I'm saying? Absalom wasn't supposed to be king either. He tried to usurp it. He wasn't chosen. You got examples of people who were chosen to do things, and they weren't the one who was supposed to do it. Somebody else was supposed to go do it. It doesn't matter, but see, that's the whole key thing. It doesn't matter what the will of man is. Like we were talking about it, we ain't gonna go over it, right? Jonah, because I ain't even gonna get to not plucking out his hand in great detail like I want to. That's just a whole separate matter. Jonah, go to Nineveh. He don't go. What does y'all do? Chastise him. What does he end up doing? Going to do what he's told to do. You know what I'm saying? You got Abraham going through Egypt. They take Sarah. Sarah belonged to Yahuwah. Couldn't pluck Sarah out of his hand. That man troubled them people. Give him his wife back. Same thing with Rebecca. Give him his wife back. Them kings in Genesis 14 trying to come at Abraham. And guess who they took? Lot. And what did he do? Go back and get it. Because you can't pluck out of my hand what's mine. Can't pluck out of my hand what's mine. You can't do it. If they belong to me. Look at David. Saul trying to kill him. You can't pluck out of my hand what's mine.
Michael.
He belongs to me. You can't take him. That's mine. That's why he say mine there. Remember what he said when he told Isaac. He said Abraham gave everything that he had to Isaac. You know what I'm saying? Esau tried to kill Jacob. Couldn't do it because he belonged to Yah. And when Esau seen Jacob with the intent to kill him, he went and wept and hugged his brother. Because even when your ways please Yahuwah, he'll make your enemies to be at peace with you. You know what I'm saying? Because this man, you can't pluck out of this man. So if you get plucked out of his hand, you were never his. According to the word, you were never his. He said, no man can pluck them out of my hand. My Father gave them to me, and he is greater than all. So that means all that have been chosen for sanctification of faith to salvation from the foundation of the world, no man can take you from Yahuwah. Even if you try to buck, if you his, all you gotta do is look at the prodigal son. He done around here expended his money on riotous eating, on whores, and all that. Came back though. And a place was there for him.
You said who?
The prodigal son. The parable of the prodigal son.
Alright, so would you consider Abel getting plucked?
Nah, he didn't get plucked. He didn't take him out of his hand. Just because you die don't mean you got took out his hand. When you like take it, that means drawing away from him. Taking away from him.
I said that because all the examples you gave was about niggas trying to kill somebody.
But it's also something like spirit that these people would have consumed them though. Because like this here, like with Sarah and Rebecca. These were Gentiles and heathens that eventually would have did what? Converted her to sin. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody take what belongs to Yahuwah. Now with Jonah, he wasn't finna get killed. He just didn't want to go preach to these people.
He thought he was gonna get killed.
Well, when that stuff went on, he was asleep.
I told him he thought if he would have went, that would killed him.
No, he just didn't want to go. Yeah, he just didn't want to go.
They ain't call him like uncircumcised or something.
Yeah, he just didn't want to go. Because you got to remember, he was hot that y'all saved him in the first place. Yeah, he just didn't want to go. He like, well, I ain't going. I'm finna go get on this boat. You know what I'm saying? But when you are Yahuwah and if he's already pre-designated and destined you to do something, you gonna do it. Whether it's salvation or damnation, you gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what I mean, if he got to turn around and pluck you out of people's hand you dealing with, whatever the case may be, he gonna frustrate the whole. You gonna do what I sent you to do. You know what I'm saying? You gonna do it. Where we was at now? Huh? Yeah, I was saying. I know I went to something out of Judges, and I don't remember where I'm going.
Oh, you said Hebrews chapter 6.
Oh yeah, 6:1 with that briars and them thorns. We look at 6 in photo. He say, for it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted of the gift of Shamahim and were made partakers of the Ruach HaKodesh and tasted the good word of Alahym and the powers of the world to come, if they should fall away to renew them again unto repentance, seeing they crucify themselves the son of Alahym afresh and put him to an open shame. For the earth which drinketh the rain that come oft upon it bring forth herbs meet for him to whom it is dressed, receive blessing from Alahym. But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. Now this man, come back to Judges chapter 8. This man just sat back and said that when I come back through here, I'm going to tear your flesh with the thorns of the wilderness and with briars. So you sit back and you look at it. Those who don't hear the word, those that actually got to take, you turn around and you got to know the hand of continual life, that you ain't want to get down with it. That man say you briars and thorns, you rejected, you nigh to be burned. Which is what we seen what? In Matthew 13. And then they in the area of Jezreel. Jezreel means Alahym have sowed. You know what I'm saying? So even when you look at them 32,000 and the 22,000 that walked back, and then the 9,700 who weren't chose, it's showing you that Alahym did not sow those seeds. He didn't sow those seeds. That means the enemy sowed those seeds.
Tight.
Come on back to Judges chapter 8. Verse 8. And when he went up to Peniel and spake unto them likewise, the men of Peniel answered him as the men of Sukkoth answered him. We got to drop down. That's not what I wanted. It's one specific thing in here that I want. Look at about verse 13. We got to get it and stop. Gideon the son of Joash returned from the battle before the sun was up, and called a young man of the men of Sukkoth and inquired of him. He described unto him the princes of Sukkoth and the elders thereof, and even 70 men. And he came unto the men of Sukkoth and said, Behold, Zebah and Zalmunna, whom with whom ye did upbraid me, saying, Are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in thy hand, that we should give bread unto thy men that are weary? And he took the elders of the city and the thorns of the wilderness and briars, and with them he taught the men of Sukkoth. See what he said? The thorn. So he actually taught them with the people he rejected. What we just sit back and read about Esau, right? He will sit back and show you. We can sit back. We will look at that Saul, right? He taught the men in Sukkoth. You know, Sukkoth just means 10. He taught the people of his house with the people he rejected. This is what I'm saying. He taught the people of his house, even those in the wilderness, you're taught with the people he rejected on what not to do. We'll deal with that more in depthly though. You see what he said? He taught them, those that are nigh under cursing to be burned, I'll teach you with them. This right here show you what not to do. This right here show you what your end gonna be. This right here gonna show you what happened to those whom I have not chosen. So you can look an example. He's saying he beat down the river, beat down the tower of Peniel, and slew the men of that city. Then said unto Zebah and Zalmunna, listen what he said, what manner of men were they whom you slew at Tabor? And they answered, as thou art, so were they. As thou art, so were they. Each one resembled the son of a king. Now he said, Gideon, he telling Gideon, as you were, so were they. Every one of them looked like the son of a king. These the people we slew. 1 John 4:16. That's what I came there for. Then we can hit that Romans 8. Because if they resemble the son of a king, that means they got to be conformed to the image of a king, which means you got to be chosen. And if you're chosen, and they say like this is a long stay, because then I got to deal with the furnace of affliction, the sorrows, the obedience, the bread, the wine, all that. You know what I'm saying? To be made like Mashiach. The love of Mashiach got to be in you. The faith of Mashiach. All these things to make you just like him. And that's how you ate. That's why he said it different. I'm going to use the thorns and briars to teach you so you know who don't look like Mashiach and who do. First John 4:16. Which and you know what all this dealing back to the first thing we started with in that 1 John 5. Whosoever believes that Yahushua is the Mashiach is born of Alahym. So you can't be born. If you're born of Alahym, that means you will resemble what? The son of a king. If you're not born of Alahym, you don't resemble the son of a king, which means you weren't chosen. Verse 15. Whosoever shall confess that Yahushua is the son of Alahym, Alahym dwell in him and he in Alahym. You can't confess that unless you believe it. You can't confess that unless you believe it. And you can't believe it unless you heard it. And you can't heard it unless you were taught it. And we have known and believed the love that Alahym hath to us. Alahym is love. He that dwell in love, dwell in Alahym, and Alahym in him. Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world. Did they not say they look just like you? 1 John 3:1. And then we already read in John 17, Father, make them perfect in one in us. You know what I'm saying? We gotta, y'all willing, we got time. Because that mystery of iniquity gonna stretch. And then dealing with this chosen, that's gonna stretch. Truth be told, they both go hand in hand, because we know those that are chosen are written in the Lamb's book of life, therefore they won't worship the beast. Or you sit back and look at those who are them 300, ain't gonna worship. Just like Troy, we were talking about the 7,000 men, they ain't bowed to that, they need to be. I don't worship no idols, nigga. My name written in the Lamb's book of life, what you mean? But the whole world wandered after the beast, though. And you got to remember, how many people were in Yasharal at that time, and only 7,000 didn't bow the knee? And he say, we like the multitude of the sand of the sea, can't be numbered, and only 7,000 men did not kiss Baal. Now you think about that. We don't know how many people were in the land at that time, and only 7,000 didn't worship. Because he say, only them that names are written in the Lamb's book of life ain't going to do it. And if your name written in the Lamb's book of life, that means you chose. This is showing you everybody, many are called, few are chosen. Few. And that's just the reality. And then sit back and look at it. And guess what? Everybody in the land heard the law. And only 7,000 men they grabbed hold of. Everybody in the wilderness heard the law. Everybody 20 and under got in. Everybody 20 and over died. Everybody heard the same word. Some of them saw the same wonders. Died. And you gonna sit back and tell me they believe the same thing we believe? Are you positive about that? Because the book sit back and tell you, just because he said they were with us, but they were not of us. Because if they were of us, they definitely would have not left from us. 1 John 3:1. Behold, what manner of love hath he bestowed, the Father bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of Alahym. Therefore the world know us not, because it knew him not. Because he said, what manner of men were these that you slew? As you were, so they were. And they resembled the son of a king, because we didn't know him. Therefore we didn't know them. That's why we killed them. We didn't know what we were doing. Beloved, now we are the sons of Alahym. It doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man that have this hope in him purify himself even as he is pure. Those that are born of Alahym will cleanse themselves from all unrighteousness. by the faith in Mashiach and his blood. According to 1 John chapter 1, and we say we walk in the light, the blood of Mashiach cleanses us from all sin. Not only covering our sins, but purging our conscience from dead works. Romans 8 and 30. No, he just said, okay. Ain't it though? Matter of fact, Romans 8 and 28. That's real tight. 26. That's real tight. I'm talking about that's restricted. Because that's really showing you like, whoa, boy, everybody ain't gonna make it. And why is everybody ain't gonna make it? Not just because they didn't believe. Our last place is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 13. Likewise, the Ruach also help our infirmities or our weaknesses. For we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Ruach itself make intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. Sometimes you don't even know what to pray for. But if you believe in faith, the Ruach will help you with that weakness, and you could cry out for prayers that you ain't even uttered out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? He'll make intercession on your behalf and take that to the master on your behalf. And he that searched the hearts know what is the mind of the Ruach, because he make intercession for the Kadeshim according to the will of Alahym. Then we already look at how he say bring him down to the waters and try him, because he that searched the hearts. What is the Ruach? Water. Bring him down to the well. Let me try him there. Try him there. I try him for you there. Which ones are mine? I'll let you know. But then he said with that prayer, well, it's according to the will of Alahym. That means that supplication got to be according to his will, not with what you want. Don't you know the book say you lust not, you have not, because you seek the desire upon your lust. So you asking for your fleshly lustful desires, and you wonder why he ain't getting it to you. And like I told you, if he do give it to you, it's probably for you to stumble and fall. Because his prayer, your prayers will be answered if it's according to his will, not according to yours. Well, you say, well, he said whatever we ask, we'll do it. Yes, he will, if it's according to his will. If it's not according to his will, he ain't gonna do it.
It's a bad thing right behind it.
Mm-hmm. This man just ain't around here passing out free candy. I want a Snicker bar. I want Twix. I want this. You ain't getting no Twix, nigga. You gonna get this peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't want that. You don't want what I got then. And he said, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love Alahym, to them who are called according to his purpose. Everything work out good to those who love Yah according to the commandments, and they're called according to what he wants. For whom he did foreknow, he said, before I formed you in the belly, I knew thee, I chose you, you the family that's separated to the highest. And my hand separated you to me. My son is what sanctified them by thy truth. Thy word is truth. I sanctify myself by the truth, that they might sanctify themselves by the truth. I ain't even get to the elect. We get to that later. Because that elect, the elect is only mentioned in the Tanakh. Only in the book of Yeshayahu and Isaiah. It's not mentioned nowhere else in the Tanakh or the Torah. It's mentioned in the Brit Kadesh, but it's only mentioned in the Tanakh and Isaiah. You know what I'm saying? But elect, as you can see, is no different than chosen. It's just one more character. You see the difference between this one and that one is Mashiach in it. That's the difference. Because you see chosen right here is just the Bat, the Kot, and the Raj. We see over here we got the Bat, the Kot, then the Yard is inserted. Because who's the one who did the choosing? Mashiach did. The Father chose. See, now here you see him before Mashiach come. Then when you look at elect, he talking about Mashiach. Bam, bam. You know what I'm saying? Because why we see that? We see the hand. We see the hand. He said, whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn amongst many brethren. Before we go, get Exodus 13:1 real fast. I'm going to read the rest of it as I'm going down. He say, moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also esteemed. What shall we say then to these things? If Alahym be for us, who can be against us? If Yah done chose you, who can be against you? All you're going to do is make yourself an enemy. Now, if he just sat back and say we got to be conformed to the image of his son, and judges sit back and tell us the same thing, then look what Exodus 13:1 in the law say. Look what Shemut say. Then look what it say. If I can get there in a timely fashion. Verse 1, and Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever opened the womb among the children of Yasharah, both man and beast, is mine. You got to be conformed to the image of his son to be the firstborn, to belong to him. And if you belong to him, that's because he chose you in my family, the Alahym family. Hebrews 12. And why did you do this? Because you had a belief of the truth. Everybody don't believe the truth, bro. I'm just going to just be 100 with it, man. Ain't finna be around here trying to spare niggas feeling. He said, if I was to please men, I wouldn't be a servant of Mashiach. I can't sit back. That's what niggas want you to do. They want you to please men. Now, we supposed to be humble, compassionate, loving, kind to people, and that's all well and good. Got no problem with that. But when the word come, man, the word say what it say, B. It say what it say. You gotta take that up with Yahuwah. 12 and 23, 22. But ye are come unto Mount Zion, unto the city of the living Alahym, the Shamahim Jerusalem, and to a numerable company of Malachim, to the general assembly in the house of the firstborn, which are written in Shamahim. Why they written in Shamahim? Because they were already chosen.
Go sit down.
He say, sanctify unto me the firstborn, they mine, right?
Leah, you go sit down.
Written in the Lamb's book of life, who's the firstborn, because they've been conformed to the image of the Son.
Get up, I'm
And to Alahym, the judge of all, and the ruachs of just men made perfect, and to Yahushua, the mediator of the new covenant, and to this blood of sprinkling that speak better things than that of Abel. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 13. All right, y'all, here it is. But we are bound to give thanks always to Alahym for you, brethren, beloved of the Master, because Alahym from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Ruach and belief of the truth. This man, that's why we mentioned that in Genesis. I ain't get all the spots that y'all mentioned. You know what I'm saying? We had 2 hours and about 40 minutes now. You know what I'm saying? But all them things we're talking about, fruit after its kind, separated. Waters of the firmament above to separate the Shamahim for the Arats, separated. That which is spirit, that which is carnal, that which is of Shamahim, that which is earthy. The first man, the first Adam was of the earth, the second Adam was of Shamahim. Separation. You know what I'm saying? Whereunto he called you by our gospel to the obtaining of the esteem of our master Yahushua HaMashiach. Therefore, brethren, stand fast and hold the traditions which you have been taught, whether by word or by our epistle. Now our master Yahushua HaMashiach himself and Alahym our Abba, which have loved us, have given us an everlasting consolation and a good hope through faith. Comfort your hearts and establish you in every good word and work. Hallelujah for Yahushua and the word. We stop it right there. Stop it right there.